Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Thursday edition ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all in agreement there.
Yep.
The most important Packers countdown continues edition. And the head coach, Jason Eck of the New Mexico Lobos, scheduled to appear. Talking college football heading into our 4th of July weekend. Tausch was
finally got somebody producing this show that likes college football, so that's good.
That's good, yeah. What is that supposed to mean? Wait, what?
You're not a real ball knower, Jesse.
Hunter loves college football. Every time Hunter's producing, we end up in a college football talk, and it's usually really informative and good. And I would venture today that we'll have some good college football conversation. That's all. Not everything's so personal, Jesse.
No, that felt like a personal attack.
But it wasn't.
And I would venture to bet
complimenting
that's not gonna be
somebody
the last
else
time today. I feel that way.
Okay, probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Can I introduce you? Can I introduce me?
Go ahead.
That's more important. Wilde and Tausch, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, the ESPN Wisconsin app, live video streaming on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, as well as the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed and Facebook page. My name is Jesse Nelson. I am normally the producer of this show. Once again, Jason Wilde has the day off heading into the 4th of July weekend. Very well deserved for Jason. So I step into the host chair alongside the Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day, big college football fan. Hunter Vaughn in the Everlight Solar studio running the show. Good morning, Hunter.
Good morning.
And you're wearing a Badger shirt and all.
Yeah, I know ball, love college football. I'm super excited for it.
Big college football guy. And there's Tausch. Tausch, good morning. How are you getting ready for the 4th of July weekend?
I am doing very nice. I don't have anything major planned. I'm hoping for all the concerts and running around. We don't have any baseball this weekend, so I'll do a little cookout, some fireworks, but outside of that, nothing uber exciting. So I'm going to be very content over the weekend.
So you're going to have a pretty chill 4th of July weekend. I'm the opposite.
I would hope so.
The 4th of July is the Super Bowl of up north weekends. If you have a cabin,
it is.
If you know anyone with a cabin, it's going to be packed up north.
I would think, isn't Memorial? So so you think the 4th is because Memorial Day is kind of, you open it up, you get the dock in, you do all that.
Yeah.
And then Labor Day, you're shutting it down. So the 4th is when you really can kind of let loose and let it rip.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 3 majors when it comes to up north cabins. Those are the 3 majors.
Sure.
But 4th of July is the masters of the majors. Like this is the one that everyone cares the most about. And it's when
that makes sense.
Boats are out on the lake. The meat raffle's extra crowded on Saturday afternoon. You're having a fire every night. Like, this is the big one. You invite all the relatives and friends to come up. Like, we're going to have, 14, 15 people, 3 dogs. Like, it's going to be a lot of people having fun up north this weekend. So, Beck and I are heading up tonight, and I think the rest of the family's coming around the same time we are tonight, maybe early tomorrow, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So, I already have 1 foot out the door. I'll admit, I'm starting to check out here as we get set for the 4th of July.
Yeah, weekend. No, I think you had 1 foot yesterday. Now you're 2 feet.
Okay,
so,
yeah, 2 feet out the door.
Yeah, whatever makes sense. Keep plowing ahead. We'll be fine.
Lots to get to on today's show. There is a list, an article from Ben Solak at ESPN.com ranking the greatest draft pick at each overall position all time. Who is the greatest number 1 overall pick ever? Who is the greatest 100th pick ever? And I'm curious if someone on this panel makes an appearance on that list. So we will check that out a little bit later. Speaking of lists, Jason Wilde's countdown of the top 20 most important Packers for the 2025 season continues. We talked about head coach Jason Eck, your old teammate Tausch of the New Mexico Lobos, scheduled to appear coming up at 10 o'clock. Last night, we found out he bleeds. The Miz lost a baseball game. We thought it was impossible, but the Mets got to him, gave up a grand slam, and it was donezo at that point for the Miz. He lost a baseball game, first time in his Brewers career. Brewers fall in the second of the doubleheader to the New York Mets last night. Did you watch the game? Did you see the Miz last night? Was he must-see TV for you, or did you miss that one?
No, I missed it, and it wasn't must-watch. And to be honest, the Miz, there is the excitement of it. I believe that the matchup with Skeens was the draw. It wasn't just the Miz, and I think I was wrong on that. As we did the show and as we got feedback, I don't think this one was as exciting. But when I look at it, it's literally the exact same scenario that happened with Skeens. He got rocked in the second inning. He got rocked at AmFam Field. Miz got rocked. So I'm guessing the Mets will say this thing was the best thing ever, right? Is that Mets fans are going to say it's the best thing ever?
I knew you were going to say this. Yeah, it lived up to the hype for Mets fans. They got to the Miz. They beat the Miz. No one else had done that yet. Of course they're going to say it lived up to the hype. Bunch of fans there last night. No one there in the afternoon for the doubleheader. But the game that was regularly scheduled, yeah, they're going to say that was a great game for those fans last night for sure. So here's a question I have for you, because this will be the only Brewers we likely talk today. Another one with the Mets tonight, 6:10 first pitch. Listen to it, 620 WTMJ here on 100.5 ESPN Madison as well. So have you ever been in a situation in your career, I don't know if it was like this when Aaron Rodgers took over, or if there were stretches with Favre as the quarterback, or maybe something else I'm not thinking of, where you almost felt invincible, where you got hot and there was like no way you were going to lose. Like this was like team of destiny, or we're just, no one can touch us when Favre's on a heater, or this team came together and had this magical stretch, and then you lose a game. And how do you come back from something like that? Like for the Miz, for the Brewers, is this going to be something that gets in their mind now, where it's like, okay, we were invincible with this guy on the mound. Now he lost. How do you bounce back? Because he's going up against Kershaw, if it all plays out accordingly, next Tuesday in a big game against the Dodgers at AmFam Field that they're going to need him for.
Yeah, I think you would have to ask Rodgers or Favre that question. But what I would say is most of us know we're not invincible. We believe when we're playing that we are, but sports has a fun way of humbling you. And when you start thinking nobody can beat you, Buster Douglas knocks you out in Tokyo. Or Michael Spinks gets knocked out wherever that Diet Pepsi sign was at.
Spinks.
That's the beauty of sports. And you think Pete Sampras back at Wimbledon probably thought he's going to get his eighth because, you know what, this is how it goes. And then a young Roger Federer comes in and beats him. And then Federer goes on this run and thinks, I'm never going to lose. And then a young Rafa comes in and slaps him away in 2007. That's the beauty of this. So, yes, there is the sense of invincibility, but at some point you're going to get humbled. And in a game of football, it's such a team-based deal. You believe in your teammates. You understand it. But stuff happens throughout the course of a game and in a season. And that's why the 72 Dolphins are viewed the way they are, because nobody has done it. I'm sure the Patriots felt invincible. Nobody could beat them. And then the Giants said, you know what? We're not only going to beat you, we're going to bruise you, and we're going to punch you in the face, and we're going to knock you out. And they did. So that's why we love it. I think, and when I was on with Vince Vitrano this morning on WTMJ, they asked a really good question, because this to me is more of a welcome to the league moment. He kind of, prefaced it by saying, you think the Mets were kind of saying, yeah, that was cute what you did there against the Pirates. Now you're up against a big boy, actual, Major League Baseball team. Now, I would disagree with that, but
a big boy team that's lost 14 of 17 going into the game last
Welcome to the show, kid. And they did that. And I think all of us, and one of my favorite things is always when you talk to people that make it, whether it's in Major League Baseball or the NBA or football, is when you know you've arrived. You have that moment. And then there's also that moment of every player that is, whoa, this is, welcome to the league, kid. And for me, I had mine, and it was in Buffalo. It was against the Bills. I get in because Earl Dotson gets hurt. I start playing, and we line up for a field goal. Maybe it was even an extra point. And back in 2000, there was no, you can't put two guys, you could push people, you can't. Everything was full go. You can do whatever the hell you want. So I line up at, I think it was right guard, right next to the snapper, and I see Sam Adams. It was about 380 pounds.
Oh, the Colonial guy?
And I see Ted Washington, who's bigger than him. And they both meander, and they kind of. Who?
You had Washington and Adams. I was wondering if Jefferson was next to them also, or Alexander Hamilton is what Hunter said. Sorry, it was.
We were being mean.
Yeah, 4th of July humor. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm confused.
Oh, no.
Help me out.
You said Sam Adams. I said, the Colonial guy. And then you said Washington was next to Adams. And then so Hunter said, where was Alexander Hamilton? And then I said Jefferson. And it's
so we're just naming presidents and historical figures.
It's 4th of July.
Yeah, you had Sam Adams and Washington in the same story, and it's the 3rd of July.
John Quincy Adams.
We didn't want to.
Martin Van Buren.
I really was enjoying.
Let's go through the list.
No,
who's 8? Andrew Johnson was right after Abe Lincoln, right? 16 and 17. Theodore Roosevelt, FDR. I think we can name every. You're going to go Gerald Ford.
Well, yeah, the GOAT.
Sure. Yeah, wouldn't be 4th of July.
Which, by the way, I think we should. And I've been texting with Joshy to Big Cat DiMaggio about this. I think the most fascinating era of our history that we never study or look at is from 1962 to 1980.
Yeah.
So I've been reading a bunch. Been reading a bunch of books. The fact that Gerald Ford somehow just gets put into office. The whole thing's fascinating. I would check and read that stuff. So there you go.
Okay, that was a fun detour. Sorry. Can you please tell us the rest of the Buffalo story? You're welcome to the league Rook moment, because this sounded like it was on pace to be a great story that I haven't heard before. I'm sorry we interrupted it.
What story?
So Sam Adams is lining up across from you next to
then Alexander Hamilton
next to George Washington, and
then they crossed the Delaware.
Where we left the story, the ball.
And then Thomas Jefferson came up. The Jefferson Memorial, I still think probably the best memorial. I do. Underrated. Everybody's about the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial. I think the Jefferson Memorial, very underrated.
No,
I do.
Abe's number one. You got the reflecting pool right there. You got the iconic pictures, the steps. You can go around the backside.
There's a lot of good stuff there. That is
the Lincoln Memorial is number. I also proposed there. So
it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good memorial.
Biased.
But I didn't say Jefferson is the top of the list. I said it's the most underrated. Is what I said.
Didn't you just say the Jefferson Memorial is the best memorial? You just saying?
I think for the bang for the buck. You don't have as many people around it.
They're all free to go.
Maybe I said that, but I meant to say most underrated is what I meant to say.
Are you going to finish the Buffalo Bills story? Because I really didn't want to hear what happens. This sounded like, come on. Blame Hunter. He's the one who interrupted with Alex.
I'm not blaming anybody. Listen, man,
totally
I love tangents. I can't sit here and act like I don't love a good tangent. And it was a good tangent. And now, here we go. So the bottom line is, now that you're forcing me to go back on this story, they kind of gave a look like, here's a fish, young kid. Let's go see what he's got. And they lined up, and that was the first and hopefully the only time in field goal protection. I ended up going blank over tea kettle. He rolled me back, but I did what I was supposed to do, which is take it. And Longwell makes the extra point, and that was kind of this is what the league is about. You have to earn your stripes. And the old savvy vets are always looking. And for the rest of the time, I can remember you'd go through and the defensive line and the jumpers would kind of look around and kind of smell, oh, this looks fishy. And they would go to where they thought they could make the most moves. And that day in Buffalo, I was that fish.
844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Less is more. That's your way into the show as we continue throughout the course of the day. Again, New Mexico football head coach and Tausch's former teammate Jason Eck scheduled to appear coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. Coming up next, we're going to get to the latest entry in Jason Wilde's series highlighting the most important Packers for the 2025 season. That's coming up next. We won't wait too long to give it away. In the meantime, Tausch, tell us heading into the 4th of July weekend about our friend Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Yep, the windows. You're looking for resiliency in sports. You want to see who can bounce back, who's got that resiliency. And for windows with the strongest resilience, you need to have the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center will let you see it, feel it, open, close, slam, compare dozens of windows and door options. Don't slam it too hard, though. We want to make sure we're careful. From 7 different Pella lines, and you see them all side by side. Stop by soon, though, because if you order by July 31st, you get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
The next time you and Jason and I will all be on the show together will be next Thursday when we're at the Pella Brookfield location. So you're talking about it right there, the Experience Center. There we go. We'll all be there on Thursday next week for the show. So looking forward to that. The first defensive player Jason Wilde features in his countdown at channel3000.com of the most important Packers of 2025. Who is it? We'll talk about him next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain not getting any better? Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now talking about surgery. Well, before you head down that road, you need to check out my friends at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about how QC Kinetics is revolutionizing medicine with their regenerative and cellular treatments. Using their advanced cellular therapy, QC Kinetics is helping your body heal itself. And don't just take my word for it. The results from their patients is off the charts. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. In fact, most people that come in for their free consultation ask if they can just start right away. It doesn't cost a thing for that second opinion with QC Kinetics. You owe it to yourself to live a pain-free life, and you owe it to yourself to check out QC Kinetics. The results could be life-changing. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Hi, Mitzi. What's the news from Kessler's in Brookfield?
Everything's smooth like butter. We're all just marching to the beat of the big bass drum.
That sounds like fun.
Your email said you wanted to talk about 32 things. What are they?
The 32 things are rare and special engagement rings.
Tell me more.
Each one of these amazing rings is just waiting for someone to choose the center stone.
What about the side stones?
All the side stones are Kessler 81s.
81 windows exploding with light instead of just 57 windows that are modestly glowing like most other diamonds.
We have 16 rings in 18 karat gold and 16 rings in platinum.
All they need is a center diamond?
Yeah, and our prices on natural center diamonds and created center diamonds are incredibly low right now.
Each store has a beautiful assortment of these rings?
Yes, And they're priced from just $900 up to $3,900.
Good job. Keep marching to the beat of that big bass drum, Mitzi.
I'm excited.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Fiserv Forum, October 5th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Is off today. Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch. But Jason is cranking out articles over at channel3000.com highlighting the top 20 most important Packers for the 2025 NFL season. Yesterday when Brian...
he's cranking out Facebook. I think he's taking off. He's cleaning his garage and his basement out, too. Sarah sent me something on Facebook that he's got like a clearance sale going on. So should we promote it?
Is he doing like
should we promote his garage sale like Eddie
Lacy's?
No free advertising unless there's ice cream. That's the rule of the show.
He's got an ice cream scoop. If he's selling an ice cream scoop, does that count?
No, it's got to be actual ice cream or frozen custard.
All right, why don't we do this? I do not have a Facebook account. I never will.
Yep.
Can one of you guys that have it, can you go on and just check what the top 3 things are that he's selling that we might be interested in?
Hunter, you on that?
Is that something we could do?
I think I can find that, yeah.
You do that.
That's it.
And in the meantime...
What do you think he's selling? Like, he's going to be selling his kids' stuff that's too small.
Definitely.
Or not good enough now.
They've been very...
That'd be my guess.
He's talked all the time about how active they are in sports. I'm guessing there's some sports equipment they may no longer use that they've outgrown.
Clothing.
Or don't participate in anymore, so I'm sure some of that will be available.
I got suckered into a bad guitar from him. That was a mistake.
You bought a guitar from Jason?
From his basement. He has like 8 guitars. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
What are you going to do with a guitar?
I don't know if
you don't play the guitar.
Well, no, I got it for my kids. My kids I thought would be more musical. And that guitar is like collecting dust and rotten up somewhere in our house. I don't know where.
Well, give it back to Jason
it was a mistake
today.
Maybe I will, Jesse. Maybe I will.
Regardless of what Jason is doing by day with a garage sale, he does have his article up at channel3000.com. Number 18,
hangers.
Checking.
Guarantee he's selling hangers. There's no way he's not.
And you thought I had 2 feet out the door heading into the holiday weekend already. Okay, so yesterday when Brian Bulaga was on, we unveiled that number 20 on the list is tight end Luke Musgrave, which you had some reservations about because...
I did. I still do.
If we're saying the top 20 and you're picking a backup tight end, that means some starters are not as significant, and you took grievance with that. I think fairly. I can't wait for you and Jason to debate that when he returns on Monday. Number 19 is rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden. And checking in at number 18 today at channel3000.com in Jason's list of the most important Packers of 2025, Evan Williams, second-year safety, who had a really great rookie season, late draft pick that ended up being a big contributor a year ago, played in 13 games, was hurt in a couple of different stints. One hamstring injury had him out for a game in the middle of the year, and then he missed the last, I think it was 3 regular season games with a quad injury, came back for the playoff game against the Eagles, and played pretty well, limited the Eagles as good as any defense did during that postseason run. Just didn't get enough done offensively with too many turnovers in that game for the Packers to overcome. Tausch, when you hear Evan Williams at number 18, do you agree? You think this is a good spot for him in the list without knowing what 17 through 1 are, as we'll learn in the coming days?
I think it's fine. He is going to be integral into what this defense is going to do, and I think for all the question marks of no Jair Alexander, there's all kinds of interesting, dynamics of where guys are going to play, right? Well, who's going to be the one? Is it going to be Keyshawn? Where's Hobbs going to play? And how that's all going to sort itself out. Bullard. There's a lot of intrigue as far as what's going to happen in the secondary. There isn't any intrigue who's going to be playing safety. That tandem is going to be set, and Evan Williams is going to be a big part of it. I would venture to say, and I have not had privy to Jason's list, and even if I did, I wouldn't spoil it. I would guess that Xavier McKinney is going to be in the top 5 because he a dog, and he is the playmaker, and he really changed the whole outlook of what this defense can be, and you finally have a safety that isn't afraid to go be a ball hawk and make plays. So that tandem, when you start looking at the question marks this team has, secondary, pass rush, there aren't any question marks that this tandem is going to be really good, and they're going to need to be because as this defense continues to grow under Jeff Hafley, I would expect there to be more opportunities as quarterbacks look and say, where's Xavier? Where's X? Well, then when they're not doing that, they're not looking for Evan Williams. And when they're not, that's when you undercut a route. That's when you maybe can start reading things, and that's where, the Nick Collins, Charles Woodson, Tramon Williams, that group was so synced up in understanding what was going to happen before it happened, and that's why you saw pick sixes, and you saw big plays, and you saw a depoy in Charles Woodson in 2009. I think the safety group has to lead that. And that's why I think Evan Williams could probably be even higher on that list. But looking for him, who had a really good campaign last year, to make another big jump in this upcoming season.
I think you bring up a great point there. And again, Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. So Evan Williams checking in at number 18 on Jason's list. When we talk about how to measure success for the fantasy football guys, the skill position players, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, it's all about stat accumulation. It's all about, how many targets, how many receptions, how many yards and touchdowns, all that stuff. And it's very easy to say, look, Romeo Doubs had a fantastic year. Tucker Kraft had a breakout performance last year. And you can just look at the stats and say that. On the defensive side of the ball, I think when you have someone like Xavier McKinney or a shutdown corner, some of the great corners that have been in the league for the last multiple decades, going back to like Darrelle Revis, they have great breakout performances because they are targeted and they make the most of those opportunities and they emerge. But then oftentimes their statistics go down after that. because teams are, like you're saying, they look at where's Xavier McKinney, we're not going there. Let's figure out somewhere else to go.
Right.
And so it's difficult to measure like how good is a corner, because you don't say, well, this corner had 9 interceptions, so therefore he's the best corner. Like oftentimes some of the best corners or safeties in the league might not have amazing statistics because they're just not targeted. That's the impact that they have on that side of the ball. So I think what you say about Xavier McKinney makes a ton of sense, and it could be why Evan Williams had such a great breakout year last year when he was on the field, because everybody knew how good Xavier McKinney was, so they're looking to go, where's Evan Williams? And there's the rookie. Let's go after that guy. And he stepped up to the occasion more often than not last year and ended up having a really solid season. So this coming season, I wonder how that's going to parlay here into year number 2 with X and Evan Williams anchoring at those safety positions.
That is why star players, field tilters, however you want to say it, are so important. Because it's not only their production and their leadership and their example setting that makes them important and makes them difference makers, but it makes the game easier for Evan Williams, for Bullard. You're going to get tested more, but you're going to get tested in ways that you're going to, as a coordinator, you can help dictate how those things get tested. So that's why the value of those guys, and for the first time in a long time, the Packers have somebody that I believe offensive coordinators are going to look at and say, remember I always talked about Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Julius Peppers, Wednesday meeting, circle, don't let this guy beat us. He is a game wrecker. We have to have a plan for him. I think Xavier McKinney is that guy. And now if you can add Edgerrin Cooper, who I'm certain is going to be on Jason's list at some point, and he becomes that guy, and all of a sudden in the middle of the field, you're like, uh-oh. All of a sudden you got 2 guys that people are looking at. There's only 11 spots. And the field's only 53 1/3 wide. All of a sudden, things shrink. And when that happens, other guys can elevate their game. And the same thing in basketball and all these. That's why these star players, Steph Curry, Giannis, why are they so great? Well, yeah, they can get a hoop whenever they want. They can, all the stuff that they can do. But they make the game easier for everybody else, where everybody else, if you're on a different team, you're going to be asked to do things that maybe you're not capable of. Here, you have star players, X-out guys. It changes the whole equation as far as what you're being asked to do.
We'll talk more about the defensive side of the ball, Jeff Hafley's scheme, and how Evan Williams at number 18 on
Hunter,
Jason's list fits
Hunter,
in.
I was driving back to do the show, and I heard the promotion for Saturday, the State of the Packers with Strofe and with Jason and with Gabe. It's going to be awesome. I know they do that every year. It's must-listen-to stuff. But I heard Strofe's intro basically saying the new look defense with Jeff Hafley. Is that inaccurate? I want to make sure I'm being accurate. It's on the liners. I heard it at least twice on my drive, and I want to make sure that's accurate before I comment on it. Well, I know we got to go to break anyways. But Strofe, I believe, said the new look Jeff Hafley defense, and I was thinking, is it? Is it a new look?
Well, we will talk about that coming up next, because that seems like something worth talking about, especially in the realm of Evan Williams here on Jason's list. You asked me for a Jason Wilde impression yesterday, because I was Mark Tauscher here for cold, refreshing Coors Light. So I'm going to try it now for you, okay? This is my debut. Right. I'm trying a Jason Wilde
better
impression.
hem and haw. All right.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. From mortgages to everyday spending and even job searches, your credit has far-reaching impact. That's Associated Bank. Includes Credit Monitor with Associated Balance Checking and Associated Choice Checking. Get a quick glance at your credit health, monthly updates of your credit score, automatic email alerts or changes to your credit, how your credit score is trending, graphing its movement month over month. And if you already have Access Checking, consider upgrading to Balanced or Choice Checking. You got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
I don't think he ever says member FDIC.
He does say member FDIC. That's that's a very important thing you need to do.
No, I don't. Not in his library.
By the way, the Foghorn had nothing to do with Associated Bank. They're great.
That was just your assessment. Of,
that was me grading Jesse's. You had it there at the start. Your Jason Wilde here was you got it, and then you lost it.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde.
Take care. Be good. No, take care. Be good. So, Hunter, I have a couple of homework assignments over the commercial break for you.
Oh, geez.
Oh, good. Yes, good.
The audio, or not the audio, just to confirm of what Strofe was promoting. I just want to make sure we're accurate. And I'd like for you to put up, because we want to help Jason in his garage sale.
Oh, my God.
I want us from our Wilde and Tausch account to find 2 things that he's selling that we could help promote on our Twitter feed.
Well, good news
is that legal?
Well, so I went back through.
Why would it not be legal?
And I found some things, some of which had been sold, but I do have some recent ones that he has put up there, and we could go through those. Instead of promoting it, and we could just
Did he sell the 600 wiffle golf balls? Because that looks like why he has so many wiffle golf balls. You understand you don't lose wiffle golf balls, right?
Yeah, practice year round. 600?
They don't go that far. You hit 10 and you walk and you hit them back. He's got 150 wiffle golf balls. I don't think a range has 150 wiffle golf balls.
Well, they don't need them in a range.
I don't think a driving range has that many wiffle golf balls.
No, why would they? They have real golf balls, so they've got thousands of them. A check on Jason Wilde's garage sale and continued discussion of the new-look Packers defense. That's straight ahead on Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can save even more with 15% off their IKEA purchase when they sign up for IKEA Family for free. Visit IKEA Oak Creek, IKEA Schaumburg, or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 15.75 ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Cheetos, Fritos, or Fritos Dip, 2 for $7. 16 ounce or 4 count selected varieties Halo Top Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99. 10 to 13 ounce selected varieties Marie Calendar Bowls or Pop Pies, 2 for $5. 3 to 6 count selected varieties Snickers or Dove Novelties, $4.49.
Attention shoppers.
Safe.
Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need. While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner. There's something goofy going on with the PA. Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game. See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I am friends with Jason on Facebook, and I'm not seeing the rummage sale posted anywhere, so I don't know what intel you have.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. You're the one who's it came across my desk that Jason has a big rummage sale, and
I'm
not
across
seeing
my
the rummage
desk.
sale.
I just told you I don't have a Facebook desk. That is not where I'm at. I have a Twitter desk.
But I'm sure you have a correspondent that's on Facebook.
You have a designated social media specialist.
If you guys would listen, I told you that Sarah sent that to me and showed me that what he's doing with his couple days off, which is great. I'm glad he's cleaning out his garage and his house and getting rid of 150 wiffle golf balls. I don't know what else. Hunter has found it, correct?
I mean, I have found some other things that he has sold. I even power ranked them.
What else is he selling? No, what's he selling right now?
Well, some of them he has sold, some of them he is currently selling. And I just kind of went through and I found my 5 favorites.
Okay, so let's go through the 5 favorites and let's give him a little bump.
All right.
Let's give him a little bump. Is this not legal, Jesse? Is that what you're worried about?
I think we're probably okay. I don't know for sure.
It's Jason. The name of the show is Wilde and Tausch.
But this is like...
We talk about what happens in our lives. We talk football. This is what we do.
But we're not often trying to sell our own things.
Some of these have already been sold. I won't say if they have been or not.
Yeah, we know you gave away hats, and that went so well. Big bag of hats. I don't want these anymore. Let's give them away.
It went well up until the point that I gave it to you to execute, and now that bag of hats is probably in a dumpster.
Hand up. That was on me. All right, Hunter has the official Jason Wilde garage sale item power rankings or something.
Number 5, a set of Milwaukee Brewers City Connect flags.
Wow.
Okay.
City Connect flags. That's pretty cool. All right.
Number 4, a light-up LED basketball.
Ooh. Practicing basketball at
Just
night.
wait, what are his girls retired from hoops? Who doesn't need an LED basketball at this point? All right, I'm a little dumbfounded by that one. Okay, what else?
Number 3, a collapsible soccer goal, a 9-foot soccer goal.
Big sports theme here. It's big sports theme.
Yeah, there's a lot of sports. I figured it'd be a lot of sports. Yeah, no interest in soccer for me, so can't do it.
Yeah. World Cup next year, though.
Number 2, a freestanding ballet bar.
Oh, okay. So, like, I don't know how ballet works. I know, like, in the dance studios, they have those up against the wall.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's just that is up there. I didn't open up pictures.
No practical use for me at home with that. I don't think Tausch would have that either, maybe, but I'm not sure.
And we knew it was coming. Number 1, 100 wiffle ball style golf balls, 99 of which are white, and there is a single orange one.
So I do wonder if some of those are pickleballs. If some of those are pickleballs, then I'm interested. But if it's 100 wiffle golf balls, I don't go to the range. I always say now, COVID sucked. We all agree with that. But COVID golf was awesome. No range, just go play.
Yeah.
It's what I do anyways. So this whole idea of hitting golf wiffle balls in my yard, it just does not interest me at all. But and if I did, I'd have 5. 100 wiffle golf balls. That's hoarding.
Well, it's not hoarding if you're trying to sell.
What's he charging for those 100 wiffle golf balls?
I'll have to go back and look.
Okay.
So now Jason is listening. He texted us, "Put me on the air," and you're denying him access to the show.
No, Paul. There's no Wilde today.
Trivia,
We've given him a ban.
Jason X coming up.
Full show.
Yeah, just we're loaded today. Here heading into the holiday weekend. Sorry, Jason. You'll have to wait till Monday to state your case for the rummage sale. Jason Wilde's garage sale going on right now in Green Bay with many great items still available if you want to have a chance to stop by. That's our discussion of the Packers' defensive scheme for the 2025 season. 844-770-3776.
So was I right? So, Hunter, was I correct in my interpretation of Strofe and Wilde and Gabe's big show on Saturday down at Summerfest? Was I correct in my assessment?
You were. I even have the audio here just so we can get that level
big
of
audio
having it.
guy.
Big audio guy.
Hunter, just for the record, I just want to say, it is so nice to have a producer of an audio show providing audio at the ready. It is so nice.
This is shot number 2 at Jesse.
And Hunter, I'm sure you would agree, it is so nice to have a host who's sending ideas over and an outline of the show for you to be adequately prepared as a producer, wouldn't you say?
Anyway, here's Strofe's promo,
Jefferson,
and we can play the beginning.
Washington, Hamilton.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe.
Take
what are the
that,
expectations
get
for
out of
Jordan
here with
Love in
that,
year
Jess.
3 as the starter for the Green Bay Packers? What will the Packers' new look defense look like? And what are reasonable expectations for the Packers' record in 2025?
There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So Tausch was
defense.
right.
I think point 1, Jordan Love. Yeah, we're all intrigued by that. I think we're seeing him healthy. Very fair. What is new look about this defense?
No Jair Alexander.
He didn't play hardly at all last year.
50% over the last 4 years.
Not even. No, he played in like 6 games. No. So what's new look about this defense?
I mean, the Jair Alexander component would be what's new look. Because even though he didn't play the majority of the games last season, he was plan A at that position. So this year, there is a new plan A for when Jair Alexander is unavailable. So that
we don't even know who CB1's. We don't even know who CB1's going to be.
So that's part
Nate
of it.
Hobbs.
I don't agree. I wouldn't call it a new look defense, but stating the case for it on behalf of my guy Strofe, I would say that new look defense is what's going to happen at the corner position. We don't know who CB1 is going into training camp. So, yes, that's new look because there is something there unknown that we need to figure out on the Packers defense. Fair?
Okay. I'm not saying that Strofe is wrong. I'm just asking the question because
think you are saying Strofe is wrong.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I'm saying it, but that's not. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be new look. I think it's going to be advanced algebra. I think we had algebra last year. And now Hafley and his crew understands where they're coming from. Edgerrin Cooper's a year older. He's got a much better vibe about what his expectations are. Quay Walker has the same thing. To me, it's not about we went from freshman algebra to sophomore geometry. This is we did algebra here, and now we're going advanced. It is next step. I don't think that's new. I think that's just different. I think it's advanced. And if this defense isn't advanced, I'll be disappointed. And if Jeff Hafley isn't going to be a big-time head coaching candidate in next year's cycle, something went wrong. Because now he has the tools. We have last offseason was all about 8 first-round picks, and we got all this talent. We get and I think Xavier McKinney changed a lot of that narrative because they created turnovers. Now, was the pass rush up to where it needed to be against good teams? No. But the pass rush was better last year. It had more sacks. Granted, it had 9 against Tennessee or whatever it was, but that still counts. So this shouldn't be new look. This should be advanced. It should look advanced from what we saw in 2024.
I agree with Tausch. Give me a T-shirt. I agree. That's how I would approach the look of really the entire team. Yep. Well, that's not Tausch was right. Do you have a different one there? Talent out.
Was right.
Truman up.
That's probably
okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. This is when we talk about taking the next step. I think that's a very generic term, but it's kind of the same conversation we had much of last offseason. Is Jordan Love going to take the next step? How will the defense look under Jeff Hafley in his first season? These were the questions asked going into the 2024 season. Here in 25, what will the defense look this year with a few new components for Jeff Hafley, and how will it advance from what it did last year? And will Jordan Love, whatever we want to define, taking the next step as the Packers starting quarterback, will he do that this year? Like, those are the questions on the State of the Packers show that I'm intrigued to hear what the guys have to say, and I'm intrigued to hear how it differs from some of the same conversations that were had on the same show 1 year ago around 4th of July weekend. So I'm intrigued to hear that this weekend. Saturday starting at noon at Summerfest, the State of the Packers show with Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel, and the garage salesman himself, Jason Wilde. Tausch, if you were down at Summerfest this weekend like you were last week at the Killers, I am sure you would be cracking open an ice-cold Coors Light.
I would indeed, and whether you're going to watch fireworks, going to be out on a lake, going to be out at the grill, cooking, make sure you have a Coors Light in your hand. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged. So it is made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans. Make sure they're blue. It's going to be a hot weekend. And make sure that your beverage, your Coors Light, is frosty cold with those baby blue mountains. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
Round 1 of Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Same deal as yesterday. We're going to play once coming up next and once again later in the show. Double dose of Wilde and Tausch Trivia today presented by Vortex Golf. Caller number 11 at 844-770-3776. Let me try that again. 844-770-3776. That is the phone number for you to get in for Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Caller number 11. Both trivia categories will be the same today. One set of questions written by me, one set of questions written by Tier 1 Tyler, who celebrated a big birthday yesterday with me out on the golf course. Happy birthday, Tier 1 Tyler. My questions are up first. U.S. history. Part 1 of Wilde and Tausch Trivia. U.S. history heading into 4th of July weekend. Caller 11 right now, 844-770-3776. Plays Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. That's coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is back at the Bog. Tune in all day on July 15th for our ESPN Milwaukee crew having fun and hitting the links. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is sponsored by Carbless, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, Fifth Third Bank, Cider Heating, Plumbing and Electrical, Gruber Law Offices, Welke's Milwaukee Florist, and Jet Out. Join in on the fun July 15th on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman here. It's the Tsunami Express Car Wash 4th of July Sales Spectacular. Get 50% off any car wash now through July 6th. That's a long-lasting clean starting at just $5. And with free vacuums, mat cleaners, and detailing tools, we make it easy to reset your ride inside and out. No stress, no mess. Just a fresh, satisfying clean that fits right into your summer plans. Again, that's 50% off any car wash. Only through July 6th at Tsunami Express. Find your nearest location at tsunamiexpress.com.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire up your fantasy. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Kyle Bruston Nortman's Ben Brust here for Grimal and Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal and Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies. They're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal and Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal and Associates at teamgrimal.com.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Avondale Roofing is knocking on your door. Leaking roof? Man, that's a shame. Call the real pros. We running this game. We patch it, thatch it, no need to stress. Our crew shows up and cleans up the mess. No drips, no drafts, no drama at all. Just tight new shingles that are leak-proof hall. Hey.
It's nothing but Avondale, baby. They keep it dry when the weather gets crazy. Hey.
Visit AvondaleRoofing.com. That is AvondaleRoofing.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
A double dose of Wilde and Tausch trivia today, presented by Vortex Golf. Going to play the first round right now. Second round coming up in the 11 o'clock hour of the show. So your second chance to get in for those of you who were unable to for Wilde and Tausch trivia coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Both categories today, U.S. history in honor of the 4th of July holiday weekend coming up. It is time now for Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
And just like the doubleheader for the Brewers yesterday, our first contestant, like Freddie Peralta on the mound for the day game, is a wily old veteran. It's Sparky in Sussex. Welcome back to Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Sparky, how you been?
Thank you, sir. I've been pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, we're great. Getting ready for the 4th of July. The U-Log going to be lit for the 4th of July weekend in the Sparky residence?
Well, it might be a little warm for that, but I'll have to check with Mr. Sparky on that.
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore when we bring up that U-Log.
Oh, I think you know what you're talking about. I think you're wondering if the fireworks are going to explode is what I think you're asking, Jesse.
No, I don't think I am. Tausch,
that's what you said.
What do you want your level of involvement for U.S. history trivia
Sparky,
to be here?
The Declaration of Independence is kept in which building in Washington, D.C.? Is it the National Archives building, the Smithsonian Museum of American History, or on Abe's chair at the Lincoln Memorial, which is overrated compared to the Jefferson Memorial?
I believe that's in the National Archives building.
Yes, sir.
On the board.
This is the easiest. Smithsonian's got a lot of stuff.
Does.
A lot of stuff.
Not the Declaration of Independence, though. That would be in the Archives building. It's the only reason to go to the Archives building. The Archives building is very boring otherwise. I can say that. I was there a couple years ago. Pretty boring. Good air conditioning, though, on a hot day. Question 2, Sparky. Okay. Which of these states... This is hard for question 2. Why did I do this?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Which of these states became an admitted member of the United States the earliest? So who was the earliest of these 3 states to become a member of the United States? Is it Illinois, Iowa, or Ohio?
Can you repeat those again? Illinois?
I sure can. Illinois, Iowa, or Ohio?
I'm going to go with Ohio since it's the state of preference, they say.
Ohio was admitted in 1803, Illinois in 1818, and Iowa in 1846. Nicely done, Sparky. 2 for 2 so far.
Thanks, sir.
All right, Sparky. Which battles fought on April 19th of 1775 were the first military engagements of the American Revolutionary War? Wow. Is it Saratoga and Ticonderoga, Lexington and Concord, or the Siege of Boston?
I believe that's Lexington and Concord.
Sparky
knows his
I knew a
history.
well-traveled guy like Sparky and Mrs. Sparky would know that. Well done, Spark.
3 for 3, all 4 entries for our Vortex swag bag drawing coming up a little bit later in the show. Nicely done, Sparky. Hope you have a great 4th of July weekend with, well, the fireworks and U-Log festivities abundant, I think.
I'll keep you posted.
Please don't. Thank you, Sparky. That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia Round 1, presented by Vortex Golf. Wilde and Tausch Trivia Round 2 coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. But coming up next, Tausch's old teammate, Wisconsin football alum, and the new head coach of the New Mexico Lobos. He is rising in the college football coaching ranks. Jason Eck, scheduled to appear when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I had nightmares at my birth mom's house. It was really scary living there. There were always drugs in the house. The police came, and that's when I was placed into foster care.
Right now in the U.S., more than 100,000 children, like Ariana, are waiting for a family.
Once I was adopted, I definitely felt safe.
Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find permanent homes for children in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 15.75 ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Cheetos, Fritos, or Fritos Dip, 2 for $7. 16 ounce or 4 count selected varieties Halo Top Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99. 10 to 13 ounce selected varieties Marie Calendar Bowls or Pop Pies, 2 for $5. 3 to 6 count selected varieties Snickers or Dove Novelties, $4.49.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch continues on ESPN Wisconsin. No Jason Wilde today, as he may or may not be hosting a garage sale on Facebook Marketplace. So I am stepping in as the host of the show today. Hunter Vaughn, our producer here in the Everlight Solar Studios at ESPN Madison. 844-770-3776 is your way into the show. We have word from the Wilde garage sale. The wiffle balls are getting a lot of traction on social media.
That's a good deal, it sounds like.
Great deal.
Sounds like a big deal.
100 wiffle balls available, wiffle golf balls, we should say, available for you to purchase from the Wilde residents. Get the deals right now. They are hot savings at the Wilde Family Garage as we continue throughout the 4th of July weekend up in Green Bay. Meanwhile, over here on ESPN Wisconsin, where we talk sports, we are now joined by Tausch's former teammate, Wisconsin Badgers alum, and I'm not sure there's a coach in America who has coached at his last 3 schools with nicknames as cool as Jason Eck has. From the Jackrabbits to the Vandals, and now the head coach of the New Mexico Lobos, Jason Eck joins us on Wilde and Tausch. Coach, thanks so much for taking some time and joining us this morning heading into the 4th of July weekend, and congrats on the new gig at New Mexico.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on, and the Lobos are one of a kind.
There is no doubt. So, Jason, you went big with Vandal. V's up, right? And I know you're not on video, but V's up. What are we doing now with the Lobos? What's going to be the catch? Because what's the catchphrase or the whatever you're doing insignia-wise for the Lobos?
We got our own little hand signal, Lobos up. You want to put your 2 middle fingers kind of next to your thumb. That's kind of like the little, like the snout of the Lobo. Lobo, like, is a wolf in Spanish. And then you have your outside fingers up. So that's the little Lobo sign. So that's Lobos up right there.
All right.
I like that.
So for those that don't know, well, we just did that. I think we flipped some people off as we did it.
Oh, you might have.
Coach Eck and I walked on together in 1995. Just a couple of, we didn't know what the heck was going on, and we grew up and we played college football. What was it? It's 97 is when I used to whoop you in, not Madden, in EA college football. And now it's back on. How close is the game if I'm playing you right now in college football? You're the Lobos, I'm the Badgers, and we revisit this in 2025?
We probably can play because now they got all these online games and stuff. We could get a game in there. I think I beat you now. I don't know if you're as sharp in your schemes as you once were.
I am not. That is very fair. All right, so can you kind of go through your process here of how you ended up in this spot? Because you played, you GA'd, and for everybody that thinks being a coach is a glamorous deal, and can you kind of go through your process of how you got to become the head coach at New Mexico?
Yeah, it was a long road. I spent 23 years as an assistant. 5 of those years were as a graduate assistant. Starting at Wisconsin, and then bounced around. Moved a lot, and then probably the best move I made then was getting to South Dakota State, and we had a lot of success at South Dakota State with the Jackrabbits. Coached a few guys like Tucker Graff, now playing for the Packers, and we had a really good run there. Over 6 years, became the offensive coordinator there, and got to call plays in the national championship game there. And then I got the opportunity to go to Idaho which hadn't had a lot of success. They had only had 2 winning seasons in the previous 22 years when I got hired there, and then we were able to have 3 straight winning seasons, 3 straight playoff appearances, and then that got me this opportunity here. We're in New Mexico. We got to rebuild a little bit. They haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. I haven't had a winning season since 2016, so we got to rebuild it. But I think it's a great opportunity. I learned that from Coach Alvarez. He was always looking for sleeping giants, places you could wake up, and I think that's something we can do here as well.
So before we get into Coach Alvarez, and I got to get your favorite, Brad Childress is a staple on our show, your favorite Chiliism. You mentioned Tucker Kraft. I'm assuming you're not surprised that he is emerging as one of the best tight ends in the league. I know Packer fans are very excited about his future. What did you see in him at South Dakota State that made you believe that he could have the success he's having in the NFL?
Well, we had Dallas Goedert, earlier at South Dakota State, so I thought that gave us a really good opportunity to kind of know what an NFL tight end looked like after he got drafted high. And then, Tucker was probably just more explosive and more physical, than Dallas. So, I thought definitely just physically he was a, NFL prospect and, ran well. And, it took Tucker, probably a year to really kind of get the system down before his second year when he really made an impact. So I kind of saw that in the NFL too, where he really made a big jump his second season from his first season. But he's a guy who loves football, who loves to compete. Just kind of the personality you like to be around. Has always great energy at practice. His teammates loved him, and awesome to see how well he's doing now at the NFL level.
All right, you mentioned Barry Alvarez, and he obviously had a huge impact on you. What are, I guess, a couple of the things you have taken from him as you've went on your coaching journey?
Yeah, I think Coach Alvarez and then Coach Stiglmeyer, who I worked for at South Dakota State, probably were the 2 most influential head coaches I worked for, kind of in forming my philosophy. And, I kind of had a crazy journey in my 23 years as an assistant. I worked for 12 different head coaches. So I saw a lot of different ways of doing things. But I think Coach Alvarez had a great knack for building confidence in his team. I think he did a really good job of just being honest with the team, telling us, what to expect in situations so we were never surprised. And, I think he was, also kind of a classic, CEO head coach. I think he trusted his assistants, would delegate, give those guys responsibility and help them grow. But I think we always felt confident going into games, even if maybe we weren't as talented or we were the underdog. And, it's something I've definitely tried to, take as I become a head coach.
So one of my favorite stories about Jason played center at the University of Wisconsin, and there was a game, and I don't remember if it happened in practice, but this tells you what you need to know about Jason Eck. It's one of my favorite stories. He's snapping. He's a right-handed guy. He snaps his thumb. And I think for most centers, you snap your snapping thumb. You're a backup at that point. You're not going to probably travel. We had a big game, and I believe it was against Michigan. So what did Jason Eck decide to do in order to stay on the traveling roster and to stay playing? Jason, can you take us through, again, I don't remember if it was Michigan. I think it was. Can you go through and kind of talk about the mindset of what you went through to do that?
Yeah, I taught myself to snap with my left hand. I don't want to miss those trips, and we were having a great year. Ended up going to the Rose Bowl, and if you remember, there's always especially for the bowl game, they had the first trip and the second trip, and if you were hurt and you couldn't practice, you'd go on the second trip, and after spending a lot of time in Madison during the winter, if you get to LA a few more days, you want to do that. So, was able to snap the ball with my left hand and find a way, and still probably had a few errant snaps along the way, but enough to get me on those trips and keep going.
Head coach Jason Eck of the New Mexico Lobos joining us here on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason's got a garage sale going on, so Coach, sorry he couldn't make time to be on the show with you here this afternoon. But I do want to go back. That's a serious thing. I want to go back to what you said about taking over at New Mexico because, the life of a coach is an intriguing one to me. With all of the different places that you move to and travel to and new communities that you try to embed yourself in, what's the first step that you take when you're not only trying to, kind of refine a program the way you're going to at New Mexico and like you did at Idaho before, but what's the first step for you to embed yourself and become one with the new communities that you're moving to? Because we've seen that here in Wisconsin with Luke Fickell and others that have come through. What are the first approaches and steps that you take, and what's been so successful for you so far in your career?
Well, I think you have to embrace just everything about your opportunity. This was a new opportunity for us being in the Southwest, this part of the country hadn't been in, and I think you have to embrace the people. You got to embrace the fan base, get them excited, whether they're former players, alumni, boosters, your current roster. Build good, great relationships with them. I think you have to. Make sure people feel that you're excited to be there and excited, for this opportunity, and you're going to embrace them and do that. And people ask me a lot, where you've coached a lot of places. What's been your favorite place? And I just, where I'm at is my favorite place. You got to embrace where you're at and enjoy the people and be all in and have your feet, be right where your feet are with what you're doing. And I think there's a great opportunity here. I kind of really enjoyed that. Fact at Idaho, where we were able to turn around a program that had not been winning, and Tausch knows that. I think he's the same way. It's always fun to do things that people don't think you can do and prove people wrong. So that's our opportunity here in front of us. And New Mexico, has some great history. We've had great players like Urlacher, over the years, and they had runs where they were very successful, but just haven't really kept up with some of the transformations. Some of the teams that they used to be in the league with have now moved on to other leagues. But I think that gives us an opportunity to do better than we've done here in a long time.
And that leads right into the next question that I had for you. I don't know who's in your conference anymore. The Mountain West, it's crazy how things are evolving all the time in college football now. So you take over New Mexico, and obviously there's all this change going on out west with who's in what conference now, and things seem to be changing every year or two. Amid all that chaos, what's your approach to trying to set goals for a team, dominating a league or rising to the top of a league? Or do you have your eyes set on, do you want to get to the point where you're considered by other leagues? What do you think of now in college football, which weren't questions 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, we're going to have stability in our league for this year, but then it's going to change a lot in 26. So, this is exciting opportunity for our players. This is the last time we'll get to play, Boise State, as a member of our league. And, really for this year, I've set the goal and that I think is attainable of getting to a bowl game, trying to get, 6, 7, 8 wins that way. And then, we'll lose 5 teams. We have 5 teams leaving our league then after this season to join that pack. I think it's the Pac 8 right now with how many teams they have. And then we'll have 2 new teams move in. UTEP and Northern Illinois are moving in 2026, and I'm hoping that opens up an opportunity where we can be a perennial, contender for the conference championship. And really at the group of 5, or I guess group of 6 level now, starting in 26. You got to have a great year. You got to try to go 11 and 12 and 1 or 13 and 0 for having your chance to get that one CFP invite and have a chance to be at the big boy table.
Jason, when you look at how college football and where it's going, do you think there is going to be some stability with this settlement and with all the stuff that's going on? Because you guys, and especially when you're at South Dakota State, it almost started looking as if it was I'm not going to say a minor league system, but let's develop and then the big programs come and kind of poach your guys. What do you envision college football looking like once this settlement does kind of take hold?
Yeah, it definitely is, a different avenue. And, like we're probably lucky we have those guys like Dallas Goedert and, Tucker Kraft, back then, not now in 2025, because I think it would have been really, really hard to hold on to those guys under the current system. I think things are. You have to embrace change, in life, and you probably never would have thought 10 years ago that you would think that as a positive, that you've had a lot of players transfer from your program. But I do think if you look like the last 2 years at Idaho, we had 25 players who transferred, up to the FBS level. And, a lot of them were Power 5, a receiver at TCU, an O-lineman at Illinois, a linebacker at Stanford, a linebacker at Washington. We brought 7 players from Idaho there. And I do think that, now we can spell that to recruits as a positive. We're developing these guys. We're taking guys who didn't have those opportunities coming out of high school, and we've got them a lot better, have improved them through our program, and now we've created value for them to move up. I do think we're going to probably have stability for about the next 5 or 6 years, and then I think as you get into the 2030s, I think there's probably going to be another shakeup, because the CFP contract will be up and some of the TV deals are up. So I think we have a great athletic director who came from the University of Texas, Fernando Lobo, and I think he has a great vision, and I think he realizes it's really important for us to position ourselves in a good, in a good position over these next, 5 or 6 years. So when that next movement happens, we're in a good place to be in a good spot.
All right, Jason Eck joining Wilde and Tausch, and he is so generous with his time, thanking again, that he's going to join us for another segment. And this segment, Jason, here's what it's a little homework for you, because we used to play a lot of basketball at the Shell. I need your favorite Shell that no longer exists. I'm going to need your favorite Shell moment. I'm going to need your favorite Brad Childress quote. And you have to start thinking about Wisconsin football players, Mount Rushmore. Who are your 4 players, no coaches or administrators, allowed? That's going to be your homework in the next 3 minutes. And Coach Eck will join us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
It isn't fair to just say they need to put pieces around Jordan Love in order to get to the Super Bowl, but it will also help if Jordan Love plays up to his potential.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
I'm just going back to it's fine just doing it the Goody way and growing young and growing together.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit MapleHillGolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango, bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by Zach Harper of The Athletic. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Wilde and Tausch back with you, Jesse and Tausch. We are joined by a Jason, not the Jason Wilde, but head coach Jason Eck, Tausch's old teammate at the University of Wisconsin and the head coach of the New Mexico Lobos football team. Tausch gave Jason Eck some homework during the commercial break. We'll get to that in a second. But, Coach Eck, I did want to ask you this first before we get to the homework assignment. Wisconsin and New Mexico did play on September 8th, 2018. That's the only meeting between the two teams all time. Have you talked to anybody about trying to put something back on the schedule against your alma mater yet?
No, I'd rather avoid those guys. You know, it's a tough place to play at the Camp Randall. I have a lot of our boosters and alumni will mention that game to me. You know, talk about how they traveled to that game, and that was one of their favorite games they've ever traveled to on the road. We go out. This year we played two Big Ten teams this year. Traditional one in Michigan and then UCLA. But we're recruiting mostly out west, so probably want to try to keep most of our non-conference Power 4 games out west.
Bummer. I kind of wanted you guys to come in here and play. That'd be pretty fun. But you do have the big primetime stage against Michigan to open up the season. That'll be a big opportunity for you and the program to really make a big statement to begin the season, right?
Yeah, we're excited for that. That's going to be a great opportunity to go play in the big house. They're coming off two big wins. They beat Ohio State their last regular season game, and then I think they beat Alabama in the bowl game. So, they should be feeling pretty good about themselves coming into playing the Lobos the first game. And, it's kind of the annual tradition of September. I think Coach Moore has to have some games where he's suspended for, but I noticed he didn't take the suspension for our game. So I think they're taking us seriously.
Oh, that's outstanding. All right, Jason, I gave you some homework because I knew you as a student. You were a student athlete, whether it was your love of Was Portuguese your best subject, or was it Geology 120? What would you say is your best subject back at Wisconsin?
I was very good in Portuguese, but psychology was my undergrad major, my undergrad degree, so I think I was very good in that. Political science, I was good in all the P majors, all the P subjects.
That is very true. All right, so
I was academic all Big Ten, Tausch.
I do remember that. I think you made sure everybody that ever met you knew that. So your first little line, the shell closed. I sent you a picture when it was getting broken down, and we had a lot of great games over there. Jason, what's your favorite shell memory? I'm assuming it was an elbow jump shot.
It's exactly that. I had a little elbow jump shot against you to win the game where I kind of pushed off. I had to create a little space. You had that great vertical, so I was always very cautious of your shot blocking. But I kind of bodied you up, kind of a little chicken wing push off, step back to nail a game winner. I think 11-9. I think was the final score of that game.
Yeah, it was.
I don't have
tough
the date.
Loss for me. A big upset in that one. Okay, we have a list of our favorite Brad Childress quotes, and he was the offensive coordinator while we were at Wisconsin. Any stick out to you, and do you use any of your Chiliisms in any of your coach speak when you're talking to your team?
I kind of feel like, Chili was such a classic and unique guy, so many great stories about him, but I almost feel like they're trademarked. Like I can't bite his lines and take his, but the one that always sticks out to me is when he was talking, I can't remember if this was going to the kickoff classic in New York, but I think he thought we weren't serious enough, and he said not everything's funny. Now, a clown, that's funny, but not everything's funny. And I remember just holding back and trying not to crack up because I thought that was a very ridiculous and funny statement. So that one really sticks out. Not everything's funny.
Yeah.
Now, a clown, that's funny.
My favorite still to this day is where, I don't know, we were flopping around or whatever, and Brad Childress got up and said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, the game room's closed," back at the Holy Name Seminary when he shut the game room down because we had not taken good enough care of the game room. So that is my favorite Chili memory. What was the third question that I posed?
The Mount Rushmore.
All time, the Mount Rushmore players in the history of Wisconsin football. Jason knows this history about as well as anybody. Who do you got?
But my first three were pretty easy. You got to go with the Heisman Trophy winners. You got to go with Amici. You got to go with our former teammate Ron Dane. The highest award you can get as a college player. And then, I'm probably biased towards offensive linemen, so I'm going to throw Joe Thomas in there, who I think is, in my opinion, the greatest Badger lineman ever. And then the fourth spot gives me a lot of pause. Mike Webster was a great, player. Troy Vincent. We've had some other great running backs, Altoon, but I probably would have to throw J.J. Watt in there as the fourth one.
Okay.
What's yours? I'd be curious of yours.
I have Joe Thomas. I'm more prisoner of the moment than you. I have Jonathan Taylor and Ron. I think because of the way this school has put out running backs and what we've seen and how important the running game has been forever, I've never seen a running back like Jonathan Taylor. He's that good. Melvin Gordon is right there, but I can't put three running backs on there. And then I've struggled with my fourth because J.J. Watt obviously deserves to be in that conversation, but he played 2 seasons. And I'm always looking for 3 to 4 years. But as we sit here right now, I don't know any other defenders that have had a bigger impact than J.J. Watt did. So I think I have to go Joe, J.J., Ron, and JT23. That's my list.
I've always had just a greater appreciation of history than you going back there. You're very modern with your list.
Well, I would go Pat Richter. Pat Richter, if I'm going old school, Pat Richter's getting my vote.
And really, I think if you went big picture and included post-playing accomplishments too, obviously Pat Richter hiring Barry Alvarez was a seminal moment in Wisconsin history, along with President Shalala. That was a huge moment in Wisconsin history.
Got to remember Shalala. There's no doubt President Shalala. All right, Jason, because we wouldn't laugh, but with Coach Alvarez, we kind of knew he had 4 or 5 speeches in his armor that he would always go to pregame. How do you kind of come to your messaging with your teams? Is it do you have a consistent message, or do you always kind of determine who you're playing as far as how you message to your team on the week of a game?
I try to be, consistent in my approach, but, every game is different. So I think you do have to have different things. And that's something that I thought, I appreciated with Coach Alvarez. When we were playing a team that, we were a lot more talented or better than, we're playing, Ohio U or something when we're at Wisconsin. He never was like trying to scare us about how good Ohio U was. I mean, he was honest about it and said, hey, we're a better program, we're a better team. We got to go, show it and prepare the right way. So we show that on Saturday. So I have probably used a few of Coach Alvarez's lines. I have been known to drop an abuse leads to restriction occasionally, which is always one of the ones that Coach Alvarez sticks out with me.
What did you say to the Vandals last year when you got ready to go play in Oregon? Because you gave them a heck of a scare in week one
had them on the ropes.
Year. What was the speech there?
Well, I think when you have games like that where you're a huge underdog, and we were, I think we were like a 45-point underdog or something. I mean, they were number one in the country at the time. It really was all week. It wasn't just like one pregame speech, but I thought, really all week with how we talked to the players, our coach's body language with the players, we had to really build confidence. And, obviously we did not win that game, but I think we really went into that believing, we could win the game and play their ass off, had it to cut it to a 3-point game in the fourth quarter and, definitely competed well. And, those will be challenges again, playing teams like Michigan and UCLA. But, getting our team to believe, I think has been, it's something I probably took from Coach Alvarez. I think he was did a great job of getting our team to always believe.
Coach,
no doubt about that.
Last question from me before Tausch wraps up with you here, because I wanted to ask you this before you go. With the way that college football has changed, and we talk about you coming in and taking over at New Mexico, we've certainly heard it from fans here about Luke Fickell at Wisconsin not seeing the results that we would have hoped yet that we've seen here through the first 2 seasons of his tenure. Do you feel extra pressure to win faster than ever before instead of having 4 years to build a program and bring your recruits? Do you feel like it's different now that the expectations are set where it's almost like immediately alumni and the fan base want to see that instant success?
Well, I think certainly now, and really this is just probably like more of a, Tausch knows how to study society. It's more of a society thing across all areas of our life. I think it's a much more instant gratification society than it was 20 years ago. But certainly I think you got to show progress very, very early. And, not to say you have to necessarily win a conference title your first year, but I think it's tough if you don't build momentum right away and, show some positivity. It's tough. But on the flip side, I do think it's a lot easier to flip programs now than it used to be because there's no limit on signees. When Tausch and I were in college, I think they had a limit where you could only bring in 25 new scholarship players a year. That was before the portal where players were eligible right away if they transferred. So I do think it is set up where you can flip your roster. You can do what Coach did at Indiana last year. His name's escaping me, but he did a great job coming from James Madison and was able to have one of the best years in school history in Indiana in his first year. So I do think there is probably more pressure to win right away and show some results, but I do think the way college football is set up, it is easier to do it than it was probably, 10, 20 years ago.
All right, Jason, before you go, can you just tell us a little bit about how important the University of Wisconsin, you mentioned, and we very clearly the impact that Coach Alvarez had on you, but I guess your favorite memory of being here and what's the biggest lesson you kind of learned from the University of Wisconsin in all of your coaching travails throughout your life?
Yeah, being in Madison and being at the University of Wisconsin really just had a huge factor, in my life from, the great coaches, not just Coach Alvarez, but, Coach Huber, our offensive line coach, who had a big impact on me as a player and as a coach, the great, lifelong friends and connections you meet from you, Matt Davenport, Eric Weiss, and then Mike Schneck, some of the guys that I lived with and played with during that era. Of course, Chris McIntosh now doing a great job as the AD. Really, I didn't really know anything about college football. When I went into the University of Wisconsin I think when I first reported, I was still 17, a 17-year-old freshman, and really that gave me a baseline of everything. I met my wife there. My wife's from right outside Madison in McFarland. So, truly coming to Wisconsin was one of the better decisions of my life. and it's had a huge, impact on me. And, like I said, I kind of stole Coach Alvarez's line about a sleeping giant when I got to Idaho. I didn't want to be redundant when I got to New Mexico and use the same line, but I kind of see the same opportunity there of, seeing value in something before it had value and then build it up.
What did you replace giant with then? Because you are a wordsmith. Did you use something besides giant when you were referencing that?
Well, I said I saw opportunity in the Southwest. I saw opportunity for what we can create here and what we can build, and just so many great lessons, and loved Madison, loved times, whether it was just hanging out with teammates in Camp Randall or celebrating a big win or hanging out on the terrace on a summer afternoon like today. Had such a great experience during, I was there 7 years, really 7 football seasons between my years as a player and a graduate assistant.
But you learned the most from teamwork when we had the sexiest 300-pound bartending crew in the history of, I don't even want to put Madison in it. I think we could put in the entire U.S. between me, you, and Wisey running that place on a Monday. Is that where you learned all of your ideas on how to get a team to work together?
Probably a lot of the things I learned there are good because I can watch our players if they're exhibiting those behaviors and try to address it. And you obviously were able to overcome it and still become a pretty good player. But my son plays for us now, and he's become a good player. He was first team All Big Sky last year as a sophomore, and I think he's learned to stay out of the shenanigans that I had in college. I think that's helped him reach his full potential. So, but we had a lot of fun at Wando's. Appreciated Jay for giving us a chance, and probably foolishly giving us a chance to run that bar.
It was definitely foolish. Hey, Coach, how tough was it to talk your kid into entering the transfer portal and coming with you? Was that a hard recruiting pitch?
Yeah, it was a hard pitch. Now, here's a good little story here, Tausch. So I get offered the job. We're playing in the playoffs. We got a Friday night game. So New Mexico comes up and interviews me at my house in Idaho on Wednesday night before our Friday night game. So they interview me. Then on the next day, on Thursday, I get offered the job, and they want me to sign the contract. They're like, all right, let's go. We're offering you. We want you to sign it before the game. You can tell the team on Saturday after. And, with my son Jackson playing for us, I just didn't feel good about signing it without talking to him. And I didn't want to talk to him about it the night before the game. So I told the AD, hey, I want to get through this game, and I'll talk to my son right after the game, and then we'll get this signed. And then we play Montana State. Where it's like 10-10 in the second quarter. I make a foolish decision, try to go for a surprise onside kick that doesn't work, and the game kind of spirals on us. So we're sitting there in the third quarter, and we're down by like 30. And I start thinking to myself, I have this DocuSign contract to sign, and when I go back in my in the locker room after the game and get my phone, I bet that contract's not there anymore. I don't think I'm going to be able to sign it. But I appreciate them believing in me and keeping that contract there. So I ended up taking a job late that night, talked to my son, and he was the only guy I really probably actively recruited and said, hey, we want you to come with us. And then he took calls when he went in the portal for a day and, had some offers. NC State, Coach Doran offered him a scholarship. Michigan State offered him a scholarship. Stanford offered him a scholarship. But he's pretty smart because I think he realizes if he would have went to one of those places, his mom, my wife, would have killed him. So I think he made the right decision to follow us down here and play for us here.
Well, there you have it. Jason Eck. Best of luck in your upcoming season, and thanks for taking a little time on a 4th of July weekend to join us. Appreciate you, buddy.
Good luck, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you fellas. Lobo up. Enjoy the weekend. Take care.
Lobo up.
Lobo up.
Lobo up, and we have Jason Eck joining us. Jason Wilde selling stuff. He's got 4th of July sales. So does Steinhaffel's 4th of July sale. The savings, they are sizzling. Right now, save 10% store-wide on furniture for every room. Plus, get hot door busters like a Sealy mattress, any size for just $1.99, and it gets even better. Take an extra $100 off every $999 you spend. Steinhaffel's is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader, and it's been trusted for over 90 years. Shop in store or online at steinhaffels.com. Don't miss it. only at Steinhafels.
Thanks again to Jason Eck, the head coach of the New Mexico Lobos football program and Wisconsin alum and Tausch's former teammate, for joining us here on the show. We'll talk about his list of the Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin Badgers football players. I would like to share my list with you. It's a little different than what you guys have said, and we will review those coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to AdventKnows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car's not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese Doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. Honey, we're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online. And unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested, and if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it, and can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take a chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck! No! Oh, rats!
Start your search at ADAMM.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman here. It's the Tsunami Express Car Wash 4th of July Sales Spectacular. Get 50% off any car wash now through July 6th. That's a long-lasting clean starting at just $5. And with free vacuums, mat cleaners, and detailing tools, we make it easy to reset your ride inside and out. No stress, no mess. Just a fresh, satisfying clean that fits right into your summer plans. Again, that's 50% off any car wash. Only through July 6th at Tsunami Express. Find your nearest location at tsunamiexpress.com.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
thanks again to New Mexico football head coach Jason Eck, Wisconsin alum, Tausch's old teammate at the University of Wisconsin, for joining us here on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason has the day off. He was back on Saturday afternoon at Summerfest at noon on ESPN Wisconsin, the State of the Packers show. Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strofe. You do not want to miss it. Noon Saturday. If you do miss it because it is 4th of July weekend, that's okay. The ESPN Wisconsin app, downloaded the Green and Gold Fix podcast. That's where you'll be able to find that show, and you will want to hear what those guys say. The big picture overview heading into the 2025 season, with training camp just a few weeks away, counting down to kickoff of the 2025 season, the State of the Packers show. Tausch, before we get to the Mount Rushmore, there is some drama going on in the YouTube dwellers comments section on our YouTube stream.
I wasn't sure if you were going to, if this is what I think it is.
So, and I like this, but I think it's causing some consternation among the dwellers. YouTube appears to now be ranking our fans in the comments.
Oh, boy.
So
based on activity.
So based on activity in the comments, there's a little crown icon, and it says number 1, number 2, number 3. So right now, Michael Klink, the Klinkster, is ranked number 1 in the comments because they realized this algorithm is going on, and he just started commenting a bunch. And apparently it's a quantity over quality type approach for YouTube in the comments. So the Klinkster is ranked number 1 in the comments, followed by Jane at number 2 and Jim at number 3, rounding out your top 3 fans in the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. And I'm sure Milwaukee's stream has its own rankings going on over there, which is also going to be an adventure. So just so you know, there's a little drama in the YouTube comments for those who are consuming the show on our YouTube stream today. Just wanted to make you aware of that, and in case that's a thing into next week when I'm gone, just wanted to make sure you knew that and were aware of that, because I know you support the dwellers in their activity.
Definitely love our YouTubers, no doubt.
We do, mostly, when they're nice. So your Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin Badgers football players, if I wrote this down correctly, is John.
I did not send you because things were fluid. I did not give you my final. I am ready to give my final as we sit here right now.
Okay, so you are now prepared. I will remind everyone then what Jason Eck just said his Mount Rushmore is. He has Alan Amici, Ron Dane, Joe Thomas, and J.J. Watt. Jason Eck, Wisconsin football alum, the head coach at New Mexico. That is his Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin Badgers football players. Tausch.
Yep, and I think it's a good list. I think his list is strong. He went Alan Amici. He wants to show off how smart he is and how much history he has. And I get that. I think we all like hearing how smart we are. So I understand where Jason is coming from on that. My list is similar. We have some crossover, but it's a little bit different. And I struggled with the 4 slot on this. The Joe Thomas was easy, Ron Dane was easy, and Jonathan Taylor, JT23, was very easy for me. Even though Melvin Gordon, I think Melvin Gordon is awesome and was phenomenal at his time at the UW. I think JT23 even went another notch because he was kind of a solo soldier, man. He had to do it all, whereas Melvin had some help, I thought, earlier in his career. So those are my 3. And then I struggled because I want to find a defensive guy that I felt, whether it was Troy Vincent, TJ Watt. We've had a great list of linebackers for a lot of years at the University of Wisconsin. But when I factor in everything, Pat Richter is my 4th. Pat Richter is my 4th on the list. So and that's where I'm going.
That was the one that you were on the fence the most about. So you had mentioned J.J. Watt earlier. You had mentioned some of the others. And you are locking in the legend, Pat Richter, as your 4th on the Wisconsin Badgers players Mount Rushmore.
Yep, that is correct.
Love Pat Richter. Got to know him on the Pat Richter Show here on ESPN Madison for a long time. He is not on my Mount Rushmore. But similarly, and so the theme here, and Jason Wilde shared his list kind of the other day. He had like 8 names. He wanted to, we went down that road for a moment. So there's 3 that are very similar. Well, there's 2 that are for sure locks. Ron Dane and Joe Thomas. Coach Eck had it. Yep. You have them. I have them. I think everybody that is a fan of Wisconsin football would say Ron Dane winning a Heisman Trophy and multiple Rose Bowls, and Joe Thomas being the high draft pick and having the legendary pro career that he had and setting the standard for Wisconsin offensive linemen as high as it can possibly be. Those 2 are 1-2 on Mount Rushmore. We are all in agreement there.
Okay.
I have players that not only were successful in their careers at Wisconsin, but players who also meant a lot for building the brand of the program nationally. So that's my standard. It's not just about being successful and having good numbers and good records at Wisconsin. It's about what you've done for the program and its awareness on the national level. And for that reason, in addition to Ron Dane and Joe Thomas, the 2 names I have on the list are J.J. Watt.
Okay.
And this one you're going to have some consternation about.
All right.
I have Russell Wilson on the list. 1 season of quarterback play from Russell Wilson at Wisconsin. That was, even though they lost the 2 games on a couple of Hail Marys in the regular season back-to-back weeks, the best Wisconsin football team that was capable of winning a national championship that I think I have ever seen. And Russell Wilson transformed the program in 1 season as quarterback. And we can say, I know your guy Brooks Bollinger, who joined us a few weeks ago, we love Brooks Bollinger. We love some of the other quarterbacks who have come through the University of Wisconsin and have been successful here. Russell Wilson was different when he was here, and he was iconic. In that 1 season, he changed the game for what our expectations are for quarterback play at the University of Wisconsin, and he's continued to do it for more than a decade in the NFL. Russell Wilson is on my Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin football players. At the most important position in football, he is the best that Wisconsin has ever had at that position.
All right, what did he transform? What changed?
The concept of game manager quarterbacks at Wisconsin, and the primary responsibility being snapping the ball and handing it to a running back, and turning the Wisconsin offense into a dynamic, multiple run options, good thrower of the ball down the field, creating more emphasis on the passing game and wide receivers. It just elevated the offense to look totally different than it ever did before he was here.
Yeah, I would just fundamentally disagree on that.
Okay.
The problem is
Russell
that
Wilson.
They didn't get a quarterback then after Russell Wilson.
I don't know what he
did anything
transformed.
close to
What
that.
transformed?
I'm not saying, okay, maybe transformative.
You said it transformed? You said he transformed the whole operation.
Not that he transformed the Wisconsin football
You said
program. No, transforming the expectations from the fan base of what you expect from the quarterback at the University of Wisconsin.
Not what you said.
We've been
That didn't happen
chasing.
either.
We've been chasing for 15 years trying to find another Russell Wilson to become a great quarterback
Danny
at Wisconsin.
O'Neal come in? No offense didn't Danny O'Neal come in as the next transformative guy, and then he didn't even play?
Well, I mean, there have been.
Am I mistaken? Something?
There have been several guys that were supposed to be the next coming
Danny
of Russell
O'Neal's
Wilson.
the backup quarterback currently.
And yeah,
there was an O'Neal.
Yeah,
and
there
maybe
was
it
an
Danny.
something.
And O'Brien. Danny O'Brien came
That
in shortly
was it.
after
Danny
Russell
O'Brien.
Wilson. Yeah.
Boy, that was so transformative. We don't even know his name. No offense to Danny.
But that's my point is Graham Mertz and Jack Cohn and all these other quarterbacks that have come since Russell Wilson. We've said, can we get them to the level that Russell Wilson was for that 2011 season? Russell Wilson is the standard that we as Wisconsin football fans want a quarterback to play at Wisconsin. And
he's not on the
we haven't had one of those
He's
since.
just not.
I think it's,
I don't even think you can. You can't even make a good argument to put Russell ahead of Brooks Bollinger.
Well, I can't. Yes, Russell
or
Wilson,
Darrell Bevel. You can't.
Russell Wilson in the
You
one
can,
season
but
that he
you'd
was
be
at
wrong.
Wisconsin put up amazing numbers and made the team look differently on the field.
How many games did we lose with Russell? Listen, Russell Wilson, again, I don't want to mix this up. I know he snubbed me, and I know we have fun with that. Russell Wilson was a great quarterback at Wisconsin. He was, talent-wise, the best we've had. No doubt about it. He was here 6 months. That factors into it. And the big games, we didn't win. We didn't win the big games with him here, period. So for all the transformation, it didn't even get a Rose Bowl win. It was a hell of a game, and it was fun to watch. We didn't win. We didn't beat Michigan State. We didn't win. I think, who's the other team? Ohio State?
Ohio State, Michigan State, and Oregon were the 3 losses that season.
I think there was a 4th loss in there, too. I don't think it was just 3.
No, it was those 3.
Yeah, it was those 3. They got revenge on Kirk Cousins and Michigan State in the Big Ten title game.
They won the inaugural Big Ten championship football game.
We all romanticize things, and Russell Wilson did a great job. He was everything you could have hoped for as a transfer coming in, leading the team, and he did a lot of really good things. But let's not put him into Tom. Like, you're going to put him on a Mount Rushmore? He's here for 6 months? No.
844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Liz is more. Already seeing some reactions coming through. We'll get to some of those. And if you comment in the YouTube comments, you might get ranked in the top 3 as one of our top fans in the YouTube comments, thanks to a new thing that YouTube's doing. So you can share your thoughts there as well. Again, 844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. If Bucky, that cute rascal, could be one of the 4, I would put him on Mount Rushmore ahead of Russell Wilson, Tausch. But I know we will find him at UW Credit Union.
He's been here longer than 6 months, I can tell you that. He's been here for over 90 years. UW Credit Union has been for over 90 years. And for every stage of your life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. And for me, took me a while, but man, I joined up with UW Credit Union. I love the fact their banking is local. They have great member-first service and unbelievable perks like early payday. And Jesse mentioned it, Bucky. They're out in the community. They're doing all kinds of great things. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We'll get to your texts and your responses for our Wisconsin football players Mount Rushmore. That's straight ahead. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Mr. Unlimited.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Hey, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Joe. To what do we owe the honor?
Don't you have CEO-type things you need to be doing?
Or Joe might be here because he's been doing some CEO-type things that he thinks we should know about.
Bingo! You guessed it, Monica.
What do you need us to do, Joe?
Well, I'm here because I want to present an idea to you.
Cool. What is it?
I've been talking with finance companies and was able to make a deal for 18-month financing at 0% interest with a $750 or more purchase.
And your idea was to offer 18-month 0% financing to all of our customers?
It's subject to credit approval, but yeah, that's what I was thinking.
How long will we be able to do it?
From July 1st to July 31st.
0% will let people buy diamonds that were on their bucket list.
I know what I'm buying.
I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm going to have more jewelry than the Queen of England.
So you like the idea?
We don't like it. We love it.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates, First Weber Real Estate Services, we do more than close deals. We serve with gratitude and faith-filled purpose. We have sold over $300 million in real estate since 2020, and we're just getting started. What sets us apart? We care. Even if we're not your agent, we'll still help. That's the kind of stewardship the community deserves. If you're buying or selling across southeastern Wisconsin, let us earn your trust. I'm Tony Wendorf, and I want to create your red carpet experience. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Fiserv Forum, October 5th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. WeatherTech Vintage Weekend is up next July 17th through the 20th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Someday we'll sit down together and laugh with each other about these days. All our troubles we'll lay to rest and we'll wish we could come back to these days.
No way, Jesse. Dumbest thing I ever heard. 608 on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch. Jason is on assignment today. He'll be back for the State of the Packers show on Saturday afternoon at Summerfest at noon on ESPN Wisconsin. The question is out for your reactions. Jason Eck, head coach of New Mexico football, former Wisconsin Badgers football player and teammate of Mark Tauscher, along with Tausch and I have shared our Mount Rushmores of Wisconsin Badgers football players as we get set for the 4th of July weekend. There is no doubt Russell Wilson is the biggest point of consternation from any of our lists. No.
Yeah, I think you did this. You tried to pull a Chris Haynes, and this was you being clicky.
Chris Haynes?
This is you being... Yeah, he's being clickbaity with Dame and with the Bucks, and Giannis ain't doing this, and No, they didn't let him go. Russell Wilson, great player at Wisconsin, really good player, a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm sure some people think he's a lock stocker. I don't. He's a good player. He had a nice season here at Wisconsin, really nice season. Not a Mount Rushmore guy. Come on.
So are you just saying that no matter how good the player is, because in today's college football, it is very possible that a player could come in for 1 year and lead Wisconsin to win a national title at some point, no matter what, if you only play 1 year.
Did they win a national championship with Russ? Because if they did, he's a Mount Rushmore guy.
They didn't.
But he didn't.
But I'm asking you, if a player comes in for a 1 year player can be on the Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin football.
But you better be Cam Newton at Auburn if you're going to do it. Because longevity still matters, and unless it is the greatest 6 months of your blanking life, you ain't getting it. Not in my book. And that doesn't mean I'm right, but it's my opinion. And yes, you can Cam Newton would be on the Mount Rushmore of Auburn. I feel very confident about that. I don't know any of their other players, but he led them to a national championship.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. I think we get so caught up because we're starved for good quarterback play for all those years, and we got a little taste of manna. We got a taste, but we didn't get to the whatever. We didn't get to the mountaintop. We didn't. And we feel like we should have and we could have, but we didn't.
We were close.
So, no, we weren't close. You're talking, we had 3 losses.
They were
wasn't close.
They were 2 plays away from likely playing in the national championship game that year. That team was loaded with NFL talent. No, they didn't play in the national championship. You know they didn't play in the national championship, but they went
why'd you say they did then?
Because they were two Hail Marys away from playing in a national championship game. They would have been undefeated 13-0 going to the national title game in the Russell Wilson year. Had 2 strange oddities in the month of, I think it was October,
is a big
gone
word.
wrong for them.
If is a big word.
Russ on Mount Rushmore is like putting CeCe Sabathia on the Brewers' Mount Rushmore, says Nick and Madison. He was great, but didn't accomplish enough.
CeCe led us to the playoffs. CeCe led us to the playoffs. Russ got us, and again, Russell Wilson was really good that season, like great. But we lost the Rose Bowl game.
So what's your standard that a one-year player would have to be considered for the Mount Rushmore? Winning the Heisman Trophy or team success? Which is more important in the metrics? If a transfer quarterback comes in and wins the Heisman Trophy and Wisconsin loses in the second round of the college football playoff, can that quarterback be on the Mount Rushmore?
If Ron Dane came from Toledo and helped us win a Big Ten and won a Heisman Trophy, but then that was it, and we didn't make we made the college football playoff, we got knocked out in the first round, I'm not putting him on the Mount Rushmore. So you got to win it. And you got to be a huge reason why. And typically that means quarterback. Now, if Ron Dane comes from Akron and he takes us to the national championship, wins the Heisman, sets all these records, and we win the national championship, Mount Rushmore him.
The other day you were getting after Jason when he made a joke about adding a 5th face onto Mount Rushmore. Adam in Glendale, Arizona, maybe our Mount Rushmore should be only 3 heads instead of 4. We should remove one instead of adding one. Because I do think we're all in line on 3. On Joe Thomas, Ron Dane, and then you didn't have J.J. Watt, but I feel like you wouldn't. He was in the mix for your list.
He's right there. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have any qualms if you want to put JJ on there. I think he would probably have been 5th on my list. Right. That's where I would have put him.
And Jason Eck and I both did have JJ Watt on our list. So if we had those 3 on Mount Rushmore, those feel like a really good 3. And then the 4th
I get on board
is where
with that.
The debate comes from. No debate that if you are ever injured in an accident, there is only one call you need to make, and that's to Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Jason Wilde would say that he hopes you never have to make that call, but if you do, Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch. We thank David Gruber for everything he's meant for our show and for ESPN Wisconsin, and we will continue to share with you. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wilde and Tausch. The 11 o'clock hour. Man, where did our time management go? This is ridiculous. We still got to play another round of trivia, and there is a list at ESPN.com. Is Mark Tauscher on it? The greatest draft pick at each overall position all time. We will talk about that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Underway in the 11 o'clock hour, Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason has the day off. Any updates on that garage sale he's got going on? Hunter, we get any more details?
No, have not looked into that. I will get on the case.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do. Help Jason out. He's got a big garage sale going on. That's what he's doing with some of his time off this week. So get on up and support our guy, Jason. He's got some stuff to sell you. Check it out on the Facebook Marketplace. Here's something else I checked out this morning. So it's the time of year where there's not a lot of NFL news going on, but some fun articles and concepts can be shared. And that's the case from ESPN's Ben Solak. ESPN NFL analyst, covers the draft, among other things. And so he created a list, cumulative of all time, the best NFL draft pick at each position in the NFL draft. So of all the number one overall picks of all time, Ben Solak ranks Peyton Manning the best number one pick ever. And so on through number 2, Lawrence Taylor. Number 3, Barry Sanders. Number 4, Walter Payton, and so on and so on. So I was scrolling through this list this morning, thinking I would see a bunch of Green Bay Packers names. And there are some. But the highest ranked Green Bay Packer on this list, numerically in the NFL draft. Any guesses, Tausch, or have you reviewed the list? Or am I spoiling anything? Or?
I have not reviewed the list.
Okay. Any guesses?
I would think Rodgers at 24. Wasn't he the 24th pick? I would think, is there a better 24th overall pick than him?
So Ben Solak at number 24 in the first line, I picked blank over Aaron Rodgers here, which is likely my most controversial selection. The blank, Ed Reed of the Baltimore Ravens, Hall of Fame safety.
I get that.
Ed Reed over Aaron Rodgers, according to Ben Solak at number 24.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ed Reed is great. Aaron, I don't know, man.
They're both going to be Hall of Famers.
Quarterback is different.
They're both Super Bowl champions. Different. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm not going to poo-poo it. I don't think it's crazy. And normally I would say it's crazy. It's not crazy.
So one of the sets of criteria that Ben Solak said is, in most cases, for the drafted player to be the greatest of all time, he probably needs to be great for the team that drafted him. It doesn't really make sense if you're going to say this is the greatest draft pick of all time at this position, but the player didn't do anything with the team that drafted him and went and played somewhere else and was fantastic. So that's in the criteria before you get into the meat of the article. However, the highest ranked player with a Green Bay Packers logo next to him on this list is number 33 overall, Brett Favre. Look,
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
He didn't get drafted by them.
He was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. I said it. Yeah, even though it didn't work in Atlanta, he was a great pick at number 33, and that's true, but I don't think for the spirit of this article, you can't say that Brett Favre is the greatest Packers draft pick or greatest draft pick at number 33.
What, man? Hey, July's slow.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put articles out. I get it, man. It ain't easy.
So if we exclude Brett Favre at number 33, the highest ranked Green Bay Packer on this list, number 48, Leroy Butler in 1990.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yep.
And there were, he says, Ben Solak writes here, there were 3 Hall of Famers to choose from here, including Howie Long and Dwight Stevenson. However, neither of them invented a touchdown celebration, and that sort of thing matters when we're splitting hairs. And I agree with that.
There you go.
Leroy Butler at number
Kudos
48.
to Leroy.
So the number one thing that I thought when I saw the title of this article this morning, and I opened it up, and I thought, okay, I want to see where the highest ranked Packer is. I want to see if Aaron Rodgers is at 24. I want to see if there's anybody that cracks the first round, the greatest first round pick of all time, and there's not. And I don't know if there's anything we take away from that or not. It's arbitrary, and like you said, it's July. The number one thing I wanted to see, who is ranked at the position 224? Because that, I don't know if you know this, Tausch, that is where you were selected overall.
I do remember
in the NFL
yes.
draft.
I do recall.
So if I
25 spots after Tom Brady, who I'm sure Tom Brady had to have been number 1 at 199.
That is correct, yes. Shockingly, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time by many metrics, is the highest-ranked draft pick at 199. There is nobody better than him in that position. So I scroll a long way down, and here's Donald Driver at 213. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Here we go to 224. And congratulations to Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jeremiah Ratliff with the 224th overall pick in the 2005 NFL Draft.
How about them Cowboys?
For the analysis, we go to noted ESPN Madison Dallas Cowboys fan Hunter Vaughn. Who is Jeremiah Ratliff? I do not know the name.
He was their nose tackle on Bill Parcells' defense. Undersized nose tackle, too, for what you would normally want. And the guy just figured it out. And he was awesome. Cowboy fan, favorite, played a long time, really good D tackle for them. Not better than Tausch, though. That's absurd.
It's nice of you, Hunter.
I'm being honest. He was great, and I loved him, but, you should be on that spot.
I'm getting results for Jay Ratliff. Is this the same one?
Yeah.
Jay Ratliff?
Yeah, they called him Jay Ratliff.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's listed in the article as Jeremiah Ratliff. He did play from 2005 to 2012 with the Cowboys, and then 3 seasons at the end of his career with the Chicago Bears to round things out.
Okay.
I don't think he's a Dallas Cowboys Hall of Famer.
No, they don't necessarily do a Hall of Fame. He's not in the Ring of Honor, and he won't be in the Ring of Honor either, which is part of what makes this wild to me.
I think our guy Tausch got snubbed.
Yeah.
I think Mark Tauscher deserves to be ranked as the best draft pick ever at position 224 ahead of Jay Ratliff of the Dallas Cowboys.
I got an idea. Why don't you write this book, you redo what Solak did, and put me first ahead of Ratliff? And then you put your. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I don't want to do all 200 and how many is it? 262 spots. That feels like a lot of work.
That's a lot of work
during a time of the year that I have a lot of vacation I'm looking to use. So I'm not interested in that.
So you have plenty of free time.
Maybe I just think I want to stand up for our guy, and I think Tausch got snubbed at 224 by Ben Solak of ESPN.com.
Okay.
I think your career was better than Jay Ratliff.
I appreciate your guys' thoughts on the snub. Yeah, I'm not going to lose any. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I appreciate it, but I won't lose any sleep over this decision. I won't.
There it is. Just wanted to defend you, Tausch.
I appreciate you guys.
I feel you earned this one, and I'm disappointed that this ended up playing the way that it did. All right. We do have another round of Wilde and Tausch trivia to play, presented by Vortex Golf. Our second dose of U.S. history trivia here as we head into the 4th of July weekend. Tier 1 Tyler, who celebrated a big birthday yesterday out on the golf course, wrote these 3 questions for the contestant that we will be looking for here. Let's go. Caller 13 for the original colonies. 13 at 844-770-3776. Caller 13 for Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. U.S. history as we get set for the 4th of July weekend. Caller 13 right now at 844-770-3776. Wilde and Tausch trivia round 2, presented by Vortex Golf, and then we'll draw our winner right away as well. That's coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is back at the Bog. Tune in all day July 15th for our ESPN Milwaukee crew having fun and hitting the links. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is sponsored by Marquette Athletics, PCI Construction, Discount Liquor, Loyal Family Renovations, The Jewelry Center, and Tony Wendorf and Associates. Join in on the fun July 15th on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
It was yet another successful weekend for the Brewers as they won their 3rd straight series, taking 2 out of 3 games from the Rockies. Quinn Priester stole the show on Saturday as he went 7 innings, allowing just 1 hit and striking out 11, a new career high for the first-year Brewer.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Curveball again for Quinn Priester. His 11th strikeout of the afternoon. He is through 7 shutout innings here today in Milwaukee.
The Brewers had a chance to sweep the Rockies on Sunday, but lost 4-3 in 11 innings. The Brewers hit the road early this week and head to the Big Apple and look to stay hot against the Mets.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Listen up, gentlemen. You're fighting an unfair battle. Studies show testosterone levels in men have plummeted by 25% in just 2 decades. That's why you're struggling with energy, muscle, and drive. But here's a game changer. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments boost testosterone by 30% on average. Imagine reclaiming the vitality your grandfathers had. Picture turning heads, dominating your career, and feeling unstoppable again. Don't settle for today's normal. Seize the day at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Real Estate Services, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Tony Wendorf and Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us today at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Windows, windows, windows. You hear all about everyone's windows and how theirs are the greatest. I'll tell you, our windows are the best as well. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I'm right there with you. We've taken the most trusted brand in windows, Pella, and paired them with such an outstanding business that we will deliver results to you at your home. Siding Unlimited has won Pella's prestigious 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Contractor of the Year award. Siding Unlimited is the company to install your new windows.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch. Jason on assignment for the day, but he will be back Saturday afternoon, State of the Packers show at Summerfest, and then Jason and Tausch reconvene here on Monday. Not at full strength, though. I will have the day off on Monday, so Hunter's back in, and Jason can get after him for not letting him on the air today to defend his honor during his garage sale going on during the 9 o'clock hour of the show. Before we get to trivia, I did want to mention one thing here from this Ben Solak article that I forgot to mention. So I thought this was really interesting. The 109 position, 109 legendary pick for Green Bay Packers offensive lineman, because David Bakhtiari is on the list as the greatest pick at 109 of all time, but that is the same draft position T.J. Lang was selected with a few years prior. So T.J. Lang and David Bakhtiari both at 109 make the T.J. Lang an honorable mention. And then the other name mentioned there that's not ranked ahead of Bakhtiari is John Runyon Sr., who was selected, as opposed to John Runyon Jr., of course, who was picked by the Packers a couple of years ago. So that's a fun nugget there. Mason Crosby is on the list. Mark Brunell is on the list as a Packers draft pick. So is Matt Hasselbeck, which, again, great picks, great players, but not with the Green Bay Packers. So a little objection with the list here from our guy Ben Solak. Okay, so anyway, that was putting a bow on that list. Time now for our second round of Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
And this is an interesting situation here. So Hunter has informed us, Tausch, that today's contestant is Andy in Union Grove. And Hunter asked Andy off the air, have you played trivia with us before? And Andy said, I don't remember.
Okay.
Hi, Andy. Does this music ring a bell? Are you bringing back any memories? Do you know yet if you have played Wilde and Tausch trivia with us before?
I call often to different shows, and I don't remember if I've been on this one, so I apologize.
That's okay, Andy. All is well. We hope you're getting started with a great 4th of July weekend. U.S. history is our category for this second round of Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf. And no matter what the results are with these three questions, Andy, when we are done, Hunter Vaughn is standing by with the cheese fry helmet. The last time we did this, the contestant who was on the phone was selected as the winner with his live reaction on the air. Andy in Union Grove will have an opportunity to do the same here in mere moments. Question number 1, Andy. And again, these are compliments of my buddy Tier 1 Tyler, who celebrated a birthday yesterday.
These questions are a lot better than the first round.
I take no responsibility for if these are poor, but I do take a lot of responsibility for bringing them to our attention if they are deemed to be good. Question 1. Who was the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence? Was it John
Hancock?
It is John Hancock. Tyler's going to be upset that you didn't let his joke answer of Drew Rosenhaus be read here.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
John Hancock, Samuel Adams, or Drew Rosenhaus?
No. You keep up the pace, Andy. It's up for us to we'll figure it out. We'll get it out there if we want it. All right. Who is the only U.S. president that has served more than 2 terms in office? Is it Grover Cleveland, Woodrow Wilson, or Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Roosevelt.
Yes, sir.
I think that was too. So my question 2 was pretty hard, but I think this one was too easy. Like, isn't that like one of the first presidential facts you learned, that FDR was the only one who served more than 2 terms?
But you got Grover with the non-consecutive to mess with you.
There was. I mean, there's another guy who's in that mix now, too, but we don't have to talk about that. FDR. Delano doesn't get talked about enough. It took me a long time in my life to know that the middle name was not Delano. I thought it was like Eleanor with a D. I did not know it was Delano until I saw it in a textbook when I was in like high school. I was like, wow. Anyway, all right. Question 3.
Okay.
This is a variation of Tier 1 Tyler's favorite trivia question. Felt like that needed more pomp and circumstance than it got. Guys, this is a variation of Tier 1 Tyler, who celebrated a birthday yesterday. One of my best friends. His favorite trivia question of all time is what we're about to ask.
Oh, yeah. All right, Tyler, let's go.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Which of these universities has had both an alumni elected as U.S. president and an alumni win a Super Bowl as a starting NFL quarterback? Which of these universities has had both an alum who won a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback and was elected president? Is it Cal Berkeley, Miami, Ohio, or Alabama?
Alabama.
Good guess. A lot of quarterbacks. But we have not had a U.S.
Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio had Ben Roethlisberger win a Super Bowl, multiple, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the 23rd President of the United States, Benjamin Harrison, a proud graduate of Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. So I'm sorry.
I could have told you Miami of Ohio was in Oxford, but I knew Ben went there, but I couldn't think of
the other Ben.
some-
And I think this is the only one in this, because there's 5 schools that can claim this. Army and Navy are 2 of the others, and I forget who the other 2 are. He tells us trivia question all the time, Tyler.
Probably Stanford.
That sounds right. Delaware is one. Joe Flacco, and I forget which president.
Will that be Joe Biden maybe now?
Yes. So how about that? Wow. So Miami, Ohio has Benjamin Harrison and Benjamin Roethlisberger, and Delaware has Joe Biden and Joe Flacco. So not only do they have both, they have guys who have the same name.
Wow.
That is pretty interesting.
That's kind of cool. Is it not? Share that around the fire this weekend. All right, so Andy, the hard part is done. You got 2 of the 3 questions correct. You have 3 of the possible 4 entries in our drawing for the Vortex swag bag, which is taking place in the Everlight Solar Studio by producer Hunter Vaughn right now. Will Andy be selected as the winner for his instant reaction while he is on the air? Hunter is rummaging in the cheese fry helmet. A lot of chips in there for 4th of July week. The selection is in. Hunter Vaughn, who is our winner?
Give it to Andy. Let's go.
Let's go.
Sparky in Sussex.
Sparky!
The fireworks and
now
the
I bet those firecrackers are going to be popping now. I got a hunch with that big swag bag win.
Big win for Sparky. Sorry, Andy, we couldn't get it done for you, but you get a chance to play again next week. Appreciate you tuning in. Happy 4th of July weekend.
You guys too. Thank you.
And now Andy in Union Grove can proudly say he has played Wilde and Tausch Trivia. There is no doubt. Thanks to Andy. Thanks to Vortex Golf, Wilde and Tausch Trivia, U.S. history double dose today as we get set for the 4th of July weekend.
I don't think, did we get Hunter, who is a college football aficionado? So before we do Whoa Hunter, did we get Hunter's Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin football?
He did not share it. Who do you got?
So I went, because again, being a weird history nerd with it, I went Richter Amici, Ron Dane, and then Joe Thomas for my 4.
I can get on board with that.
I think
get on board with that.
They're the
plan.
4
That's pretty
safest
good.
picks.
Yeah.
I went non-controversial, unlike Jesse, who's just clickbaiting.
You did
Not clickbaiting.
Can you just admit that's all for clickbait?
No, I legitimately believe Russell Wilson belongs on the Mount
I
Rushmore
asked
of
you. You said
Wisconsin
he's
football
transformative.
players. Yes,
and you couldn't give me one idea of what was transformative.
He transformed the expectation of Wisconsin Badgers fans for what you want to see from the quarterback position at the University of Wisconsin. No more. No offense
such
to
a
these
word
guys,
salad.
but
that is the biggest word salad. Don't take that to your cookout this weekend.
Oh, it's going to come up on the pier, no doubt, this weekend.
No, the word salad.
Oh, the word salad. Oh, good one.
Thanks.
Michigan, Mailman Matt. Michigan is the other school. We should have known that one. Tom Brady and
Gerald Ford.
Jerry.
Super Bowl champion and
well, maybe he was
US
elected president. That could be different because
Well,
Gerald
that's
Ford.
It's a part of history that's not covered very much. We know.
It is not.
All right. We will hear more from Hunter, Mr. Gerald Ford, coming up in Whoa Nelly next. Hunter will lead that, so it's Whoa Hunter coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Balaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
If the Lakers are insistent that they're not moving off of Austin Reeves and that he's going to be the co-star for Luka Doncic long term, then I don't know that this Lakers team around LeBron and Luka can get good enough to challenge the other powers in the Western Conference. I just don't see a world in which that exists. The Lakers have too many team needs, right? They've got to address the center position in a major way, and they're going to have to figure out how they're going to get more on-ball defenders. Their perimeter defense right now is trash bags. I struggle to see a world in which the Lakers can get good enough around LeBron and Luka to contend for a championship. I don't see how that happens, and I don't know how they get remotely close if they wouldn't be willing to include Austin Reeves in some type of package to bring over another all-star caliber player.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
But the car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
1,
2, 3 into the 4. Avondale Roofing is knocking on your door. Leaking roof? Man, that's a shame. Call the real pros. We running this game. We patch it, thatch it, no need to stress. Our crew shows up and cleans up the mess. No drips, no drafts, no drama at all. Just tight new shingles, then a leak-proof hall. Hey.
It's nothing but Avondale, baby. They keep it dry when the weather gets crazy. Hey.
Visit AvondaleRoofing.com. That is AvondaleRoofing.com.
Kyle Preston Northman, KBN.
If you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number one wide receiver, just doing it the Goody way and growing young and growing together.
This is ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
All right. Wilde and Tausch back with you. Jesse and Tausch today. A reminder, Jason Wilde hosting the State of the Packers show coming up on Saturday afternoon from the Summerfest grounds with Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strofe starting at noon. State of the Packers on ESPN Wisconsin. If you can't listen live, because it is Saturday afternoon of 4th of July weekend, it will be available on the Green and Gold Fix podcast feed on the ESPN Wisconsin app. You can also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Great opportunity to hear from Jason, from Gabe, from Strofe. Big picture State of the Packers conversation, examining the state of the team 3 weeks away from the start of training camp up in Titletown. The State of the Packers show coming up this Saturday afternoon at Summerfest starting at noon on ESPN Wisconsin. The trivia winner has been drawn. We've covered all the relevant topics of the day. It is now time to turn it over to Hunter Vaughn for this edition of Whoa, Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Gentlemen, as I've talked about multiple times on this show and other programs, I love college football. And I saw a really interesting take from Cam Newton on his 4th and 1 with Cam Newton talking about Arch Manning, and I wanted to play it for you guys because in the world of NIL and transfers, I feel like this is a really...
Just wait, a whoa segment with audio and actually prepared? No.
That's not necessary. That's not necessary.
Okay, then. Well, we're just going to go right into the audio then because that's
rude.
Awkward.
Yeah.
They went into the University of Texas with the understanding that they're trying to put Arch Manning in the best situation to be developed over time. It's not about playing. That's going to come. But who's going to develop this specific talent to be the best talent by the time he's eligible to go to the next level? A lot of these parents and a lot of these players get so jaded off of the fact that, hey, I'm trying to play early. No. Scratch that. Go somewhere that after 3 years, you could put yourself in a position to go to the league. That doesn't mean that I'm going somewhere where I could play early or start. Just because you're starting doesn't mean you're getting developed. I've always felt like I was more talented.
He goes on to say he felt like he was more talented than Tim Tebow, but he needed to learn how to prepare from Tebow because Cam did start at Florida before he had other issues and had to leave.
Did he go to a junior college?
He did then go to a junior college and then went to Auburn.
Is he really the perfect person to be talking about? Like, I agree with him, but he didn't do that.
But he literally said then, like, he learned from Tebow how to be a better quarterback.
Jesse, here's the deal, though. Not everybody has the access and the resources that the Manning family has. What Cam Newton is saying is incredibly reasonable and right, but not every family can go through that process and have that security and be that patient. So I love it when Cam Newton has learned lessons in life, and he is now passing those on to other people. Cam Newton, talent-wise, one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever seen. What he did at Auburn, I don't know many people that Tim Tebow ain't doing that at Auburn. Tim Tebow won. Tim Tebow's a really good college quarterback, but he had NFL players everywhere. I don't believe Auburn did. So Cam is saying all the right things. If you have a great setup and you can develop and let things kind of unfold, you're going to be much better suited in your career. If you get rushed into something and you have to play and you maybe don't get to develop, everybody has lessons that they learn. Sometimes your confidence cannot recover from the amount of disappointment and failure. Arch Manning has set himself up beautifully in the fact that everybody probably is like, well, Arch, that's the Manning family. We're going to play right away. Well, he sat for 2 years, and he's learned, and now he's getting an opportunity to go off like a rocket ship. So if you can afford, and that's why the Green Bay Packers in their quarterback situation have been better, because you've had the security of not having to listen to your fans and say, you got to play this guy because I got a Hall of Fame quarterback still playing. Now you have some other issues you have to deal with, but this scenario, what Cam is saying, this isn't an ideal world. We all know we don't live in that world, but man, what a great Hunter, awesome sound, because it really, I think, and I'm not just throwing shade at Jesse, it's really good sound because everybody could learn something from that, but the problem is the practicality of it isn't going to work for every family like it did for the Mannings.
Also, was he pounding his table, or
no? That was
sound effects.
The sound effect was in post. There, I couldn't find a version of it where they didn't have it.
Just very thuddy.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it added emphasis to his takes, and I think it's true. Like the idea that you have 3 years that you have to be in college. You don't have to play all 3 years to make it to the league. Like, that's not something every guy needs.
Tausch can be pretty emphatic with some of his points. Should we start having pounding sound effects?
I can find one.
I'll say this, Hunter. I think we all are caught up in this microwave society where we want everything now. And for me, I look at my college career and I say, I mean, I was 140 out of 142 as a freshman, never saw the field. And in the grand scheme of things, would I have loved to have started 4 years and had 50-some starts? And yeah, that'd be great. But I believe the way my process went, it allowed me to be healthier going into an NFL career. It gave me time to grow confidence and not get put out there. And then all of a sudden you struggle a lot, and coaches are like, well, this kid can't play. There's all kinds of layers to going through the process and having to work your way up to get that spot. Some talent needs to play right away. Most don't. And when you get thrust into that position, it doesn't usually work itself out if you're not a big boy talent.
Some big boy talent from Hunter Vaughn and Wonelli today. Thank you, Hunter. That was so good. I can't believe you came prepared with Monday.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's a great tease for Monday or for next week.
You've got some stuff to live up to next week when you're filling in, though.
For Lord knows when.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before the band's back together. That's it for Wonelli. We will wrap up the week heading into the 4th of July weekend with Feel Good Friday on a Thursday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. You really want a summer of entertainment?
My job to win a World Series is my job to provide a summer of entertainment.
Be careful what you wish for.
Struck him out looking. Ball game over. It's a grand slam. Dives. He caught it. Struck him out looking. Oh, my goodness. Christian Yelich. Mizorowski. Sal Freeling. Trevor McGill.
Everything Brew Crew lives right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Are you going to do something today?
Yes, I am.
And what exactly might that be?
My plan is to sit here and enjoy our amazing new patio set from Steinhoffel's.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale is going on now. Take 10% off store-wide, plus an extra $100 off every $999 you spend. But don't wait too long, because this sale ends soon.
Now, would you be a sweetheart and get me another lemonade? I have to stay hydrated.
Steinhoffel's 4th of July sale, going on now.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
This 4th of July, celebrate your freedom with flavor. Crack open a Carbless, the ready-to-drink cocktail that's full of taste and only 100 calories, 0 carbs, and most importantly, 0 sugar. Whether you're lighting up the sky or kicking back at the barbecue, Carbless is the perfect sip for your summer celebrations. No mixtures, no fuss, just pure bliss. Carbless, all the freedom, none of the calories. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
2 Wisconsin icons are teaming up on a reworked classic. Cousin Subs and U-Zingers are proud to introduce the all-new fried bologna sub, featuring U-Zingers fried bologna, bacon, American cheese, onions, pickles, mayo, and mustard on fresh-baked Italian bread. And that's not all. Pair your fried bologna with a creamy cupcake shake topped with whipped cream and rainbow sprinkles. Now that's a better combination. Order both in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman here. It's the Tsunami Express Car Wash 4th of July Sale Spectacular. Get 50% off any car wash now through July 6th. That's a long-lasting clean starting at just $5. And with free vacuums, mat cleaners, and detailing tools, we make it easy to reset your ride inside and out. No stress, no mess. Just a fresh, satisfying clean that fits right into your summer plans. Again, that's 50% off any car wash only through July 6th at Tsunami Express. Find your nearest location at tsunamiexpress.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Born and raised under the rain and a western wind.
Wrapping up the show and our week, heading into the holiday weekend on Feel Good Friday on a Thursday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. Jason will be back Saturday afternoon at Summerfest. Tausch, what do you have for Feel Good Friday today?
Well, first off, it's always fun. It's always weird when it's a Thursday. We don't do a lot of Feel Good Fridays on a Thursday, so
no,
this is special.
There aren't many.
And this Feel Good Friday is also very special. I think for a lot of people, organ donation is a huge part. It's life-saving. And a good friend of ours, Beth Bautista, she had posted this on Instagram, and I saw this, and I thought that she donated one of her organs to one of her students when she was a teacher. She is a selfless, wonderful human being. And she posted this about Brian Martindale, who is Driving for Life road trip. He is promoting more donations, pediatric kidney donation. He made one of his stops in the state of Wisconsin at the American Family Children's Hospital this week, promoting organ donation. And, Beth has lived it. A lot of people have. And I just wanted to, for my Feel Good Friday this week, Brian Martindale stopping into Madison on his country, a little tour of the country to promote pediatric kidney donations. So kudos to everybody involved with that.
That is awesome. A great way to wrap up our week. Thanks to everybody who has joined us. Thanks to Jason Eck, head coach of New Mexico, for joining us earlier in the show. You can catch Jason Saturday afternoon at Summerfest. State of the Packers starting noon on Saturday afternoon on ESPN Wisconsin. Tausch, have a great 4th of July weekend.
You two enjoy that meat raffle.
Oh, we will. And as Jason always says, have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaki County's best golf experience. 18 championship holes designed by legendary golfer Arnold Palmer cater to golfers of all skill levels. Settled amongst over 250 acres of beautiful private land, the Bog offers a truly unforgettable golf experience. Play the finest greens of Wisconsin, and after you're around, have a signature cocktail while enjoying our Friday fish fry from the clubhouse overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the Bog.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix